Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. Coming off a solid rally from tech and reopening shares to start the week on Monday. We're seeing North American stock futures back in positive territory. Once again this morning, big rebound for big name tech stocks right through the entire sector, leading the way back to the upside on Monday. We even saw some travel related names in positive territory. The hotel, casino operators, to name a few. We'll talk about MGM coming up here back in positive territory once again this morning. The Dow Jones up about 186 points to start the week, while the S&P and NASDAQ both gaining more than 1%. Nice way to start off the new week. Some evidence suggesting that those inflation fears may be kind of moving away. Also help lift sentiment once again and get things going in the right direction, along with cryptocurrency markets kind of stabilizing to start the week on Monday. We're seeing Bitcoin back around that 37,000 level once again early on this morning. We'll have a look at cryptos coming up here as well. Square with a big move late in the day yesterday, moving back to the upside again this morning, talking about launching a checking and savings account product for Square. And we'll have a look at Space once again down this morning after that impressive rally we saw late in the day yesterday. It's Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things stand so far today. We're seeing, 0.5% for the NASDAQ, about 0.3 right now for the S&P, and the Dow, 0.25% in positive territory. We're getting a little bit of a pullback once again for cryptos. I mentioned back towards that 37,000 level for Bitcoin, Ethereum, down slightly this morning as well, but still holding some key support areas. Crude oil back to the downside as well. You can see there after bounce back yesterday, but it did sell off late in the day. Neil is back, if you were wondering. We had Arun joining us on Monday. Neil, with a nice holiday weekend, we hope. Neil?
Oh, it was pretty good. I mean, the weather was absolutely fantastic, so I can't complain. Spent some good time with the family. I mean, obviously, your Virgin Galactic goes to 27.50. I mean, I would have shorted whatever. It doesn't even make a difference. But in the afternoon, 27.50 on Virgin Galactic was a big turnaround. So there's a lot obviously moving, and should be entertaining and exciting another day. I know Arun, as always, does a fantastic job. So fantastic to be back and going to have a lot of fun trading in these markets. So immediately right on the horse. Today is the day. Well, I shouldn't say. Today is hopefully the day that Lordstown, I shouldn't say capitulates, but behaves rather decently when I'm on the short side of a trade. I mean, actually has some clearly negative news. We'll get into that in a little bit here, but it should be a wild one, Sean.
Yeah, it should be a wild one. I'm already short. Yeah, yesterday was great. Space was fantastic. We absolutely crushed yesterday. Basically a perfect day. Thank you, Miss Maggie. It's Hydration Nation is back in the building. Thank you so much, Maggie, for that one. Yesterday was full of a bunch of these, and we'll hope to continue them today. Shout out to Arun. Filled in admirably yesterday, and we had such a fun day. And we'll look to do the same today, guys. Thank you for joining us once again. We're back. We'll see if we can keep the streak going. One negative day so far in May. We'll see if we sell in May and go away, or buy in May and stay. I don't know. I don't have a rhyme for that one. But thank you for joining us, guys. There's going to be a big show once again. The markets were rocking. I don't see any news here that's going to bring this market down, so it should be a good day today. I'm already short. Ride.
Yeah, nothing terribly groundbreaking as far as news to cover this morning, but plenty of names to discuss as far as things moving around in the pre-market. Before we get into that, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Ms. Fee.
Hi guys, I wish you a great trading day. I hope you enjoy the show, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We'll have a look at the top 10 traders list here from Day Trade the World as of Monday. And the reason I show you this is because there's a lot of OTC pink sheets on here. Look at that, 3, 4, and 5, all just trading OTC pink sheets. Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC Markets, coming up here in about 5 minutes. We're going to discuss a few opportunities on said OTC markets because there's a lot of attention right now, obviously, on cryptos. Few other names to be aware of. We'll give you some resources as to how you can find what is being traded on a daily basis and what is active. The reason we show you that list is to show you there's lots of opportunity, not necessarily on the traditional markets that you may be used to looking at. Want to start things off with a quick look at weed stocks, guys, because we had Goldman Sachs coming out with a positive note on CGC this morning. What do we think of that?
Golden, eh?
I didn't, honestly, Neil, I didn't even read the note, so I'll pass over to you.
I actually didn't see this. I mean, we'll have to take a look. No, I didn't even see the note recently, but oh, come on, CGC. Load up. Don't do this to me. My first day back, and the first thing I do was crash my chart. Trust me, it actually did happen. There we go. Finally loading up a little bit. I'm actually not seeing a heck of a lot of movement, to be honest with you, with basically like 100,000 shares in the pre-market on this particular name. Now, I mean, it's not to pick on, it's not to sort of pick on any names or just look at these charts and say there's not a heck of a lot going to be going on here, but you've been rounding out and then trying to break through and trying to get this little bit of a pullback for at least a couple of weeks now. And I think for me, and again, everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. I actually was going to talk about this with something like an Uber and maybe even some Coinbase, where sometimes you just rather actually see some activity and a break before you jump into the party. And that would seem to be the case for me. You're sort of getting still below this January bottom that got put in, and talking specifically about CGC, and still trying to break through that 24. I mean, yeah, okay, so can you anticipate positive headlines and say, okay, well, it's basing out, you have a bit of an out here at the bottom, risk yourself a couple of bucks, 10%, and go long now, or just allow it to break through. I mean, I prefer to take something that shows me a positive bounce when the chart looks like this. Clearly, sometimes that can end up being a bit wrong. If you gambled on Virgin Galactic in advance of their note, maybe you're going to be lucky when they had that successful space test. But I don't know that jumping on any positive headlines here is the way that I would be playing this. I'd wait for like a 24 break. You get up into this nice little cleaner range, 24 to 26, and then you sort of go from there. Allow a stock to recover, allow a stock to make a move positive to the upside. You don't always have to have the perfect price, because the momentum is pretty clear in one direction. And if you took every consolidation down so far, you've essentially just been averaging in the whole way, and it hasn't turned yet.
Well, earnings coming up June 1st for Canopy, guys. The reason we mention that, because earnings just around the corner. But yeah, there's this MKM as well. I just saw another one coming out this morning talking about the buy side for CGC ahead of earnings on June 1st. So we'll see possibly some activity back towards the cannabis sector. It's been a little bit sleepy. Let's talk about what happened yesterday, because we saw everything get kind of reignited back to the upside when we speak of growth stocks. We speak of tech stocks led by Square. Huge move late in the day on news. They're going to planning to offer both a checking and savings account product. So we're back in positive territory again in the pre-market for Square.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon we absolutely destroyed Square here on this move. I think we went long, eventually went long 211, 212, something like that in the afternoon, and really made a nice trade. I think we got about $1 and change. And again, thank you for all the nice comments that I received about that trade as well from you guys on social media. So that was a great looking trade. And look, I think Square, just like how we destroyed Beyond Meat yesterday, I'm going to get to Canopy in a second as well. This name here, it's a multi-day breakout, it looks like. It's going to be breaking out past 213 here. We'll see what happens. I already wrote down that basically, and today's sticky note's already up there, 212.50. Thank you for all the sticky note love, guys. We're going in like 5 or 6 days now above 100 likes. So as long as we keep that going, that's going to be great. Find it, and we can post it up. Maybe Valeria, you can post the link. Actually, I have the link right here. We'll post it up. You guys can have a quick look. But I mean, getting into more banking, I think is a good move here. Square, all the young people right now, they want to use the Cash App. They want to use Square for all of their banking. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then there's the announcement. You see the volume starting to pick up there in Square. We've been a buyer of Square all the way down. It was my biggest buy in the pandemic. So I actually have a 35 print in my account on Square. So that's been a good runner lately. And I think that with crypto going, remember, even though crypto is going to the downside, they still make money off transactions, right? And so the only company that's really said they're holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet a significant amount is going to be Tesla, not Square. So we'll wait to see what Square does here today, but you do have some balancing act rate here, about 210. 210.50, something like that we could see. I mean, I don't think the market's coming down. Like I said off the open, there's no reason for this market to come back down here. I believe IPOs really crushed. Like IPOs and SPACs absolutely destroyed this market, and I just don't think right now with IPOs up 700% year to date. Like, does that make any sense? IPOs sucking all the money out of all the big stocks, and now that people are just waiting on those, I feel bad. I mean, I'm in some of them. You guys know Fisker, XL Fleet, things like that. Thank God I'm out of QuantumScape. Here's CGC. So yesterday's Beyond Meat trade was absolutely fantastic. And let me just call that up again for you. While we took $3 or $4 on Beyond Meat, and we've been loving this name for a while. You see, it's this multi-day break right here of 212.60. So we had that yesterday. Nice bump up. So you look at that chart, and then you look at CGC. It's kind of the same thing here where we're looking at this 24 level. So I didn't see the Goldman note, but again, you know, with earnings coming, I don't think earnings are going to be any good. So I'm assuming the note doesn't have anything to do with really that. It's just the potential here of, you know, possibly being oversold. They have acreage. I've talked about CGC the whole time. My biggest holdings are CGC, TrueLeave, which is TRUL here in Canada, Tilray, because I had Afria, so they merged, and then Grow Generation Brands. You guys already know my love of that name. So I think right now $24 is a great little break here on CGC, and if you get it, then the bulls will be kicking. And again, you know, any sort of legalization, this thing goes to the moon because it does have Constellation backing. So I like CGC, and today I really, really like Square. Make sure you check that sticky note out, guys.
All right, guys, I'll show you the chart of Moderna here. We had a headline on Moderna that came out a little bit earlier. We had a pop from 165 back above 168, 2.5% here. The efficacy rates on adolescents, so the 12 to 15-year-old age group, came back very positive for Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. I mean, this thing has been trying to hold some significant levels up here. This is actually decent volume for Moderna here in the pre-market, guys. 168, a pretty good level. We're trying to get back into you know, recent high territory up here for Moderna so far.
Yeah, look, I mean, and we're talking about the recent high you're talking about is this like 189, 190 sort of double tap that it's put on so far this year. To get there first, you sort of go back to Friday when we hit 170 and then reversed rather hard, basically down almost $10 full from start to finish, and then you're going to get a spike. And this is following Pfizer, of course, sort of leading the way when it comes to, you know, adolescent trial results, and Moderna following along here. The fade trade usually is the way to go on this news, and that 170 level sort of makes a bit of a double down. I think if it breaks out, if Moderna can break out through that range, I think you do have an actionable level and lots of headroom back up to that high that you mentioned there, Brendan. First things first, I mean, it has to bust that 170. It's a Friday top. Nice little climb yesterday. You get the positive news. So far, I mean, like you said, it's decent volume, but the majority of that volume has been to push us back down below and then try to hold back up. And, you know, I just haven't seen that happen yet. So it's a fade for me in front of that 170 mark, especially with a failure on Friday and a failure so far in the pre-market at 8 o'clock. When some of that retail buying comes in, tried to push it to the top and did not get there. So I like that 170 for a fade. If you look for a breakout, you're probably wanting to give it to like 170.50, just because you want a clean break of that 170 level after the last couple of times has not been able to get through.
Yeah, look, Moderna's been a crazy one for sure. And I don't know, it's kind of the moves that have been happening on this name. Sort of expected this. I mean, Pfizer got the release, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago for the teenagers. At least here in Canada, they're starting to distribute it to 12 and above. So, you know, 190 here is going to be the top of Moderna. You know, it's already been there. This is what I mean by a little bit crazy. It was up here just 2 weeks ago, dipped down to 150 on some concerns there, and then right back up. I think that was about the warrants and stuff like that for the, you know, the right to produce this thing. So we'll wait to 190 here. The thing I like about Moderna has nothing to do with COVID. I think that story's done with. You know, obviously it's baked into the stock now. It's just about future releases. So that's really where I like Moderna. Their technology seems to be solid. They had the vaccine within 24 hours. The variants are holding up. Now you get it on the kids and things like that. So, I mean, it's looking like, you know, clear skies ahead for Moderna. I don't know. I mean, they're not responsible if anything goes wrong. I mean, everyone's signing these waivers and things like that. Once you get the vaccine, so I think the downside's pretty minimal. But I would prefer a pullback to 155, 154 here on mRNA before I'm a buyer. I don't actually want to buy any of them except for J&J, which I'm in already, and I've been in J&J for, honestly, 25 years probably, since I started managing my own accounts when I was like 20. So I was buying, and again, a disciple of Jim Cramer, I always try to buy, high dividend, high yielding, good quality growth stocks. So right now, J&J, although not a great growth stock, you've seen them just itch upwards, up and away. This has been a good story for J&J. They have tons of other products, more pipeline, things like that. So that's why I would prefer a J&J. However, as far as vaccines are concerned, we don't have the J&J vaccine here in Canada, so I can't really say that I know anything about that from a vaccine side. But I would put my money much more confidently in J&J, but just don't expect the returns that you could possibly get in Moderna. So, it's one of those things. I like it. I prefer J&J over Moderna, but congratulations to everybody who does have teenagers and can hopefully soon be able to have their whole family vaccinated. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we did see late in the day yesterday as well, Moderna, they were talking about the Indian variant, and they said a 2-dose, so the fully vaccinated Moderna vaccine was quote unquote very effective against the Indian variant, which is good to hear. Let's bring in, as promised, Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC Markets. We had quite the day, Jeff. Good to see you once again. Welcome back. We had quite the day. We saw in the top 10 traders list that we show every once in a while here from Day Trade the World. OTC Markets was all over the top 10 traders list yesterday, which I'm sure you'll be happy to see. But lots of activity, lots of volume on the OTC markets of recent days. Much of that has to do, obviously, with the crypto moves that we've had over the past couple of days. Talk a little bit about, to start things off here, this increase in volume and increase in activity for listings on the OTC markets.
Oh, thank you, Brendan. Again, as always, I appreciate coming on the show. And so I guess we'll jump right into it. So, the biggest thing is GBTC and ETHE are still the best way for retail investors who don't have access to the underlying cryptos to get involved in all of the price volatility, right? And so with the huge dip that we saw Sunday morning in the crypto market, I think what we saw yesterday was kind of just a follow through, right? And people trying to get involved. Maybe some people are thinking of it as a buying opportunity. I know I certainly am, but I think that's the reason why you're seeing all the opportunity in these grayscale products, right? And like I said, that's GBTC and ETHE. And so even this in the pre-market today, right? You can see that OTCX, which is our ECN that allows you to trade these names. We're at the inside in this name, and it's already printed a few hundred times. And this is the pre-market, right, where trading typically doesn't occur that much as far as frequency-wise.
I want to show a great resource for those who may not be aware, and that's the website of OTC Markets here. If you're wondering, and this is a public resource, I just pulled up the website this morning. If you go to the current market section of OTC Markets website here, these are all the active stocks. This is yesterday's action. You can see, 12 million, 15 million here for both GBTC and ETHE. So just to highlight the ease and how accessible it is, I guess, to find some of these symbols that we speak of when you come on, Jeff. I want to talk a little bit about some market structure. Obviously, cryptocurrencies are a 24-hour market. They trade, as you mentioned, right through the entire weekend. So you're going to get those gaps, price gaps, because of fluctuation in the underlying price. Talk a little bit about pre-market here, maybe, when we come in on a Monday after a big move over the weekend in cryptocurrencies. How do those prices adjust in the pre-market and then leading towards the open?
So, I mean, you have a mix, right? In any time in the pre-market, right? A lot of it's retail driven, right? And then the market makers are trying to get in line with the underlying price of crypto, right? And so on a big move like that, you're probably running into a lot of those good till cancel orders, right? So the people who may have a buy order out there or maybe some type of stop order out there. But I think it's in this case over the weekend, right? You were probably running into a lot of bids that people have had out for maybe the past the past couple months, right? The last time that the price of GBTC was down at this level, right? And so you have a lot of that happening, right? And then you also have a lot of prop interest as well too. People just trying to get in line for the open.
Let's discuss a little bit more on the structure side here, Jeff. I spoke to a company yesterday. We don't have to talk about who it was, but a company that is not currently listed in the U.S., but is looking to maybe start trading on the OTC markets first. Walk us through the listing process here if they're waiting for approval and don't have, a listing that we talk about sometimes on other exchanges that they're moving over. Walk us through that process, how long it takes, and what is required for that.
So typically, right, so, if you're talking about a Canadian name, right, a company that's traded on TSX or the CSE, the process really doesn't take that long. It may take a couple days, a couple weeks. There's some outlying circumstances that we won't get into right now that could take a couple months. But overall, though, the process is relatively quick. And basically what happens is a market maker down here in the U.S. files what's called a Form 211, and FINRA goes back and forth with them. They make sure that everyone has done their due diligence. And at that point, FINRA approves it, and the market maker is able to put up a two-sided quote in that name. And so, that's kind of the high-level version of how a name can go from trading on the CSE down here as an F share. And then, to be part of our QX, listing status, right? It also has to meet some other eligibility standards, right? It has to be SEC reporting. It has to be, it can't be a shell company. It can't be bankrupt. It can't be a penny stock. It has to have those price quotes that I was talking about from a market maker. And also an OTC QX sponsor has to write a letter on behalf of that company to enable it to actually come up to the platform.
Real quick to wrap things up, Jeff, when last we spoke, we discussed Hertz. They came up with a bankruptcy agreement and a deal to get them out of bankruptcy protection. We discussed, the possibility of the stock moving back to a senior exchange in the U.S. Give us an update on anything that you've heard in that regard.
Well, it's certainly been trading a ton down here at OTC markets, right? I think when the news came out, maybe it was trading at 3 something. I can't remember the actual number. Now it's up at 630. I think people are talking about this thing going up to 8. Right now it's just been a lot of trading activity. A ton of people involved, and I'm sure that part of that P&L that you guys saw in OTC markets came from this name yesterday, right? And OTCX, which is our ECN and a great destination to trade this name on, is involved heavily in this name. You can see it in the pre-market, but once 9:30 hits, the spread should tighten up on this guy and should have some fun trading it.
Jeff Mendel, VP OTC Markets. We appreciate your time as always. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Brendan.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a look into some market mechanics for the OTC markets and some of the names that we talk about here on the show almost on a daily basis, guys. As far as this crypto move has gone over the weekend, as we said with Jeff, there's many different names that we can look at it. Some of these grayscale products, though, definitely worth a mention.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you, Jeff Mendel there. And yesterday on the show, Neil wasn't here, but he knows all about these products. We were trading them yesterday on the show on some of those crashes. The unfortunate thing, like Jeff was saying there, that the crash happened on Sunday, so the OTC markets were closed, and the only thing you could really do is trade it, open Monday morning. But good points there. I did want to bring up one other name. It's the same name, but I just, the OTC markets are about so much more than crypto. Like, this is the thing. As soon as Hertz, and I'm glad that we brought this up, and I'm glad you did there, Brendan. Like, what you really have to do is you can see here the volume. Like, when the volume starts to pick up, like it really started to ramp up about May, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. So let's just call it early May, where we were down, and this is what Jeff was talking about, down to $1.50, $2, something like that, and then you get the break up to 657. Like, these are great returns on companies that we're quite frankly familiar with, right? Whether or not you like Luckin Coffee story or not, Hertz is on there as well. And then there's the ADRs, the big guys, the 10 cents, Roche, things like that, Adidas. So this is the thing. is, and I just want to talk about Hertz though first, is that when you see some of these companies that get listed down like Hertz did, and then all of a sudden volume starts picking up. Here it's the other way around, right? Volume starts picking up and we actually head to the downside. But often enough, when you start to break some of these levels here on volume, you can get this action. And why is because, you know, if there's anybody short this name, maybe there's a release coming, and Hertz did get more financing. So that can really cause, you know, monster moves up because people are nervous that, hey, maybe this does go back to NASDAQ or NYSE or gets that uplist, or more good news comes and everybody that's caught short are now in big time trouble. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention, that keep checking. You brought up a great point, and I actually just talked about it on the chat there. I really do like, and it's one of the views that I do have, the current market view most active. So definitely want to check that out because you never know what's happening on the pink sheets. Often there's names that we've missed. A bankrupt name just goes down yesterday. We didn't catch it on the show because the volume wasn't great. And then all of a sudden today, maybe there's volume back on it. So definitely don't sleep on the pink sheets. It's a little bit of a tough market to trade, but if your account holds the entitlements to trade on the pink sheets, OTC markets, then I think that there's a lot of great opportunity there, especially if you're unable to get crypto any other way, then you can get it in a registered account and you can hold ETHE or GBTC. So I think those are great names. There's also a Litecoin one that doesn't do much volume, but I think that's worth looking into too because Litecoin's been on a big move. And then, you know, what happens if they start listing Dogecoin grayscale, which I say that jokingly, but honestly, like, you know, the more this Dogecoin kind of gets its base, the more grayscale may be looking into it. So nothing wrong with looking into some OTC market trading.
Elon Musk offering his support yesterday, or not his support, but suggesting that people should jump on Reddit and come up with some ways to improve Dogecoin, if you remember. Here we go, upgrades and downgrades for today. Shake Shack, there's Goldman back with Shake Shack again, 109 on the price target. Dollar General had a move, if you remember, downside yesterday. We're back in positive territory this morning. Facebook on here. HSBC likes Facebook. We'll talk about Ride. Domino's, there's Space again. Morgan Stanley today with the downgrade on Space, guys.
And Lordstown as well. So look, I mean, you get to squeeze in there, and here come the downgrades for Virgin Galactic. We see OCGN, guys. Don't worry about it. Look, they submitted master file to the U.S. FDA for their Covaxin shot. It's up 10%. Most of that move happening post 8 o'clock. Some decent volume at the top here, up around this 875, 885 area. You do. And of course, it's been a tighter little cluster. I mean, it's had some volatility in this name. This is not the types of spikes that we were seeing, you know, a couple of months ago in OCGN, but certainly we know what can happen if it gets going. You go back into this resistance where it flushed in yesterday's action. Of course, I missed 885. If we get through 885.9, which for now it doesn't look like it's having that kind of a juice. I mean, you did have this 930 level, like a double top that it failed at, and then you can actually go back even further when. I remember this week we were talking about this 1050 area, just could not get through and tested several times before falling down. Now keep in mind, it has put in a good base into this news at 780. So even if you play any kind of reversal on OCGN, I mean, that 780 to 8 even has been rock solid the last few weeks or so. So definitely got a nice little range that's worth trading. It's trying to break through the midpoint of that range right now off the open. And I think this could be one of those days where OCGN is on the radar for me at 930 for that potential break up and fade type of idea. And if it gets to $10, very good chance I'll test it there.
Yeah, I mean, that stock is going nuts. I don't think we have Coinbase on our watch list today, but we do? Okay, we do have it. So Coinbase today gets upgraded by Morgan. Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, I put it on my list, so yeah, it should be there. Today gets upgraded, and just because we were talking about coins there with, well, not coins, but ETHE and a little bit of crypto there with Jeff. Coinbase today, this is when I got my first Beyond Meat trade back when they IPO'd, and then they got a first major upgrade from a major bank. So today Coinbase comes out, and we just saw it there on the upgrades, I believe, and upgraded this stock. So I'm actually still waiting for a 240 break. That's what I wrote down on the sticky note, but watch out for Coinbase today. Could be something, only 213,000 shares, so it's not huge, but we could take out some levels today. So Coinbase on watch as well, but we'll get to that.
It's interesting that OCGN move, from my experience anyways, you only see that master file terminology when there's something confidential. Typically, companies will file that when they don't have a patent on something because it's potential IP that they're submitting to the FDA. So yeah, that's OCGN, a good catch there. Let's bring in Arun. We'll check out the futures here and see what we need to be aware of as far as levels are concerned this morning. Arun, what are you looking at?
We're just continuing off where we left off yesterday, right? Yeah, towards the end of the day, we kind of came off around that below 4,200 back towards the 41.92 area. I am looking at that 41 mid-80 area. So that's where we went long yesterday when we got that 41.85 breakout. We used 41.55 as a stop. Nothing has changed. I don't have any new levels. So if we can come back down into that same area and find some sort of a long, I'd like the same trade again. The way it's acting around 4,200, it's not surprising. We've been hesitant above 4,200 going back ever since we got here. So the fact that it's going up, coming down yesterday, late session yesterday, and now we got through, and now we're backing off after getting through 10 back into the 404, 05 area. Not surprising at all. So I hesitate to go long here. Also, the reason I'm also not chasing that long either is because I don't really have a whole lot of levels to work with here. Maybe 4,200, but again, I'm not fully confident with that. So I'm just going to wait a little bit more, see what the market's going to do, because you do have a holiday coming up. Sometimes volumes get muted. We do have to do some volume for sure. For the month is up and the holiday kicks in, you do have to get some volume done. Any sort of rebalances that need to be done. I believe MSCI is coming up. So Thursday, most likely Thursday, because Friday tends to be extremely low volume. So Thursday, I would expect some volatility. Tomorrow, maybe. But again, holiday volume, it's going to be a little light, sporadic at best. And then you're going to get that one day with a ton of volume. So no reason to push anything if you don't have anything, any clear setups. For now, though, I've got 41.85. If I can use that to find some entries, great. 41.55 will be the stop. If we keep going up, though, I'm just going to let it be and figure out what to do after the market's open.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, guys. We're under 30 minutes here. Let's jump right into the watch list. We have a lot of names to get through. We'll start things off with Square. If you were maybe at the beach yesterday afternoon and missed it, big move higher late in the day yesterday after a Bloomberg report came out suggesting they're going to start offering both a checking and savings account product for Square. So back in positive territory, as we said here, guys.
Look, Square's been like one of the best stocks for me to trade since we started the show a couple years ago, and we love Square. I love Square, especially when it starts to get the volume going. It's a risky stock because it does open up, so you do have to watch out, but that fits me perfectly fine. If you're willing to take some risk, then I think Square is going to be a name for you today. It could bounce around. I'm nervous that we do fall back into 208, 09-ish area, maybe, if the market is weak. And we're just going to have to wait on the market here today. I think it's a great move. Somewhat foreseen, I think, that they were going to get and start to talk about checking and savings accounts. I don't know, legally what they have to file for if they already have done that, to qualify to be allowed to open said accounts. But the thing about it is, and I just know the way I am with some of this. Here's Square, nice little dip down. This is a screaming buy. My last buy is right here. I believe it was 212, posted, of course, on Twitter. And my NVIDIA buy at 604 seems to be pretty incredible as well right now. But look, Square going to the bottom right here, I think it's a screaming buy. We said that over and over again. And I'm just talking from my own ease, and I think you guys could say the same thing here, is that, once you have the ability to put everything under one umbrella, you may just wind up doing that, right? Like if you think about and this is just true of me, so I don't want to say for everybody else, but when you think about who you bank with, they probably hold your mortgage. Obviously they're going to hold your checking and your savings account. They probably hold maybe any loans that you have or, anything like that. That's why these banks want to wrap people up. Like I've been with the same bank since I was like 12 years old. So I think they want to get kids when they're young, keep them in the environment, and then just bank off them their whole life. And I just think that Square now, if they're going to get into this game, what does it mean for them, in the future? Are they going to start, maybe do they buy somebody like a Rocket Companies or something like that, where they maybe get into the mortgage and more of the subprime loans, things like that? I don't know. I'm just saying, if Square becomes a bank somehow, Jamie Dimon has already regretted not buying Square for infinitely lower prices than right now. So, hey, look, if they're going to open up accounts and then they're going to start to get some love and they're going to have people opening up accounts, Square could be, like here I am talking about them expanding, and now I'm going to talk about them possibly being a buyout candidate as well. So just watch out for Square. I love Square. I'm a buyer on every single dip. So hell yeah to Square.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've got those approvals. They started last year in March, and I think they got another one this March as well, which was a different stage for them. And like you said, unless your home bank screws up, then they should have your mortgage, and they should have all the reason to compete. Mine didn't. I'm not going to get into the names there, but I like Square. I actually do like it today, Sean. And the first level I kind of had back here was a bit more of an area. It'll be like a first type of dip, and it's a tight stop one because 209.85 to 210.30, but a 50 penny range is what I'm looking for. And I think if it immediately holds that level, and I look in the afternoon sort of pullback range, and then previous highs is where I sort of came with that. If it can immediately hold a little bit of a dip like this, that'd be like a dip and go where you're slightly selling off and trying to get into a bit of this breakout. And this is the move that I'm kind of hoping Coinbase will put on. Hopefully this is what we kind of look to be able to see. I mean, Square is trying to do that through this 210 area, what I think Coinbase needs to do through 240, like you had mentioned as well, where you can finally get this reversal. And there's a lot more going for Square in this move down in the long term. Are they a buyout candidate? I'm not even sure at this point that's going to happen because they're making all the strong moves on their own. I'm not sure they need to do it, but you're absolutely right that it could happen. So I like this dip. It's a tight one at 210. If it gets too crazy, I mean, I'll probably be all over 205, and that's going to stand out like a sore thumb. I think you look for potential breakouts through like a 215, and then you got to watch out for that $5 range, 220. So if you want to get a $10 move, I'd rather buy the dip to catch a $10 move as opposed to trying to catch the breakout.
All right, let's go to Lordstown Motors, the only real notable earnings report out after market yesterday. They cut their production guidance for the remainder of this year in half, 50% to the downside, and also said they're going to spend a lot more. So two things you probably don't want to hear when it comes to a company that has no revenue, guys.
Yeah, spend more. We're going to spend more and make half the amount of trucks. Oh, and by the way, Ford's looks fantastic, and everyone's talking about how great it is. Look, I mean, Lordstown, and candidly so, every time it was popping up going into these earnings and getting to this 1050, and the EV space was rebounding, I was looking for rollovers, and then you're going to finally see this start to come in post these numbers. There was a previous low, 878. We'll quickly go through that. We'll quickly go through that, if only because it already broke to the downside through that 877 area and this $9 range. You do come back into last week on Monday, which had this bottom at $8, and that's going to stand out like a sore thumb. Now, candidly, obviously, you're going to see Sean and I both in short positions as this is rolling over here. I think you give that back to that 875. That's the only reason why I'm throwing that number out to you there. And if 8 goes, I mean, I'm certainly going to scalp. I got 844 short. I'll probably scalp some out in front of 8, but that's going to stand out as a bit of a breakdown price as well. So I do like shorting through $8. You come back into Monday where it had some support, last Monday I should say, and when it had some support at that particular price level. And if it breaks through, the momentum could be not unlimited, but certainly strong through the downside, another $1. Just because it's short sell restricted, no guarantees on that breakout trade. That's why I did favor getting in some shares a little bit early here just to make sure we had this position on. But, the EV space had that great multi-day run. You don't come through, you don't follow through. There's a lot of good places to put your money in the market right now, and clearly the market's reflecting that, and Lordstown is bearing the brunt.
Yeah, I'm going to, I just want to get more and more short of this name. I think we just got to get short, literally, guys, all the way up to, $9. It was a bad report here. These names just gotten beat down. We can find out the shortable interest on it. But hey, if you're trading today, then you should be looking at Lordstown for sure. Ride just continues to get driven down. Needless to say, a bad report. They tried to get going. They didn't. I always look at Fisker. I think this is the one to buy. I've been talking about that for a while. So let's just watch out for Fisker today. Any negative news on that, probably I'll look to be buying. If they get any of the pin action from Ride, I think I'll look to buy this one if we can get this over near 12. I don't mind Fisker on a dip buy near this 12 where we reached yesterday. So let's see if that can happen. For FSR, we're going to put a low bid right now on Fisker. So Ride, I'm short all the way. I'm all the way up to 9. So get ready and buckle up if you're trading with me today, guys.
All right, one that just popped up here. Prevention Bio, PRVB, just ripping 50% here. The FDA out with a positive note on one of their treatments. So an initial it seems like positive note in regards to efficacy for one of their treatments. I'm going to read more about this, but heads up on PRVB. It's a micro cap, teeny tiny company. It's about a 50 million share float, it looks like, for PRVB. So that one moving around here as well early on. Let's go to space. Big recovery late in the day yesterday. There was an S3 Partners report suggesting a significant increase in recent days and weeks in the shortable interest in this stock. Pushed this thing right back through the entire day's range yesterday and then some. It is down, though, in the pre-market here, guys.
I mean, it turned right at 27.50, which is like, I already said, it's a bit of a kick in the junk. That was a monster breakout price. I mean, you look at, you talk about pullback clusters, and that's one, end of the year, you did have a 27.50 breakout that led to that double up, and obviously on the way back in, it didn't give you as much of a move, like 20%. We talked about this, and usually that kind of a level turns into some resistance, but it couldn't even climb into that price. You do get the gap up, and squeeze or no squeeze. I think when you get to a price level like, I mean, it's obviously going to end up having been true. You get to a price level like that, screaming in the afternoon into that 27.50, you're going to get some kind of reversal. So I'll revisit that if it gets up to that price. I mean, we're nowhere close to it. So, the first thing I'm going to watch for, and you have to watch out because this is a bit of a squeeze play, but sometimes day 2, day 3, when things start to wind down, I look for those, okay, last ditch buying, break out maybe this 26 area, try to get into the pre-market high, fail at 26.50. That pattern has been a pretty good one for trade and usually gives you a relatively decent stop. So we pop like 30, 40 cents, fail to get through 26.50, right at 9.30, and then you're looking for that quick little short, 20, 15, 20, 25 cents, whatever you can off the high of the day where you get a bit of a rollover and then you're getting into that short position. If it breaks to 50, you can start thinking about some maybe like long breaks into squeeze play, but 27.50 comes again. I missed it once. I don't want to miss it again if it gets up there.
Okay, guys, my thoughts on space are on the sticky note. You can click that link and find it, and please hit the like when you do go over there. Poll time. Let's do this. Already 239 votes. Let's see if we can get this up to 500 before we start the show here. So with summertime approaching, where do you think the NASDAQ will be September 1st? So flat from here, higher or lower. So 2% higher, 2% lower. So I just figured flat between 0 and 2%. I mean, normally that would be pretty decent summertime, but I think with the movements happening right now, we can figure this out. So my call is, of course, going to be 2% higher from here, and we'll just wait to see where we go. 9% right now. I mean, flat might be the case. I mean, I do think that the market right now has been on a beautiful run the last week or so, but we have until September 1st. So we'll keep this poll up till tomorrow, and we'll see where we can go here. Let's do a quick little refresh and see if anybody of you guys actually did. Yay, we got 5 more votes. So let's see where this goes from here. Higher, lower, or 2% or flat. So we'll see about that on Twitter. So guys, please join the poll. Let's build the community up. I'm only short ride right now, and space for me is a sell. You just got to find the right levels. Check out the sticky note, guys.
A couple of upgrades, an initiation as well from JP Morgan on Coinbase. We'll talk about Coinbase here coming up. It was interesting yesterday. We saw most of the crypto-related stocks rally back with cryptocurrency prices late in the day. Coinbase didn't really benefit. I mean, there was a couple of moves higher, but did struggle throughout the day, especially late in the day. But yeah, JP Morgan initiating coverage on Coinbase. Finally, one of the last ones to do so with an overweight rating, guys.
It's starting to get to that point. I mean, you had the wipeout bottom in Coinbase, which wasn't even, considering some of the volatility we saw overall in the space, it wasn't even necessarily that bad. But it's a decent rebound up to this like 225 area, and sort of went away last week looking at 240. And that's still the most important level, because I think that's where the breakdown happened. You had the flush out, and that was support that was broken on the way to the flush out. Then you had all kinds of resistance, and we had some longs last week trying into that 240 level, and of course it couldn't get through there. So I love that break. We're at 227 right now. That's not the first thing that's going to be front of the mind. Actually, I'm waiting to add more shares in long term when we're above that 240 mark. I'd rather buy in some strength than necessarily just sort of randomly sort of sitting here. I think that's going to be a fantastic sign, and maybe you can swing a little bit above that price as well. It gives you flexibility, but I want to have today's look be this like 230 level at least at first, and then come back in and think about those little dip buy, those $5 trades, which have been very, very successful recently. And I only watched what happened. I didn't see it, but obviously every single time we dipped to 224 in the morning yesterday, you can see these like $5 rebounds a couple of times here. And we've noticed that trend a little bit on Coinbase. You want to take advantage of it. So Usually it's at a higher low, which got put in the afternoon at 225, so I'll be buying a 225 dip. You got to break at 230 as well, but I love that 225 play. You risk about $1, you scalp $1.50, then you make like 3 or 4 in the second half of it in front of 230. So something along those lines off the open. I like that in Coinbase.
Yeah, I don't really, you know what, guys? I don't really like anything on Coinbase today. I'm just going to wait for, like I put in the note there, this 240 break. I mean, you know, dancing around in here, nah, it's not really for me. There's nothing, there's no real key levels. I think, you know, if you get back down, I don't, you know, there's no reason today for us to get back down to 220. But yeah, if that comes through, then yeah, I mean, you have to be a buyer down here, low 220s. So, you know, that's something I'm going to wait for. Coin is just, it's a waste of my time right now. Yesterday's, you know, range of like $3 or $4 there is just, it's not super exciting for me. So I'm going to wait for this to break 240. I think you get a 240 break and it's, you know, definitely a runner up to 280, 290, something like that. So we're going to wait for Coin. It's on my list just because it's going to be a mover. So we definitely have to watch Coinbase on the 20-minute chart. But 240 for me or bust on Coin. I like it, but I don't love it for a day trade lately. You know, I'd just rather get my money in other places. A similar price stock like Square, I think just going to give you a little bit better moves. But I do like the initiation there from Goldman. And like I said, guys, that allowed me to buy Beyond Meat, I think at like $80 or something on its first initiation. I think it was Morgan that time, but that got me excited. And then I bought, and then it went up to, you know, 200 or whatever Beyond Meat did. So watch out for Coinbase here. Remember, guys, I mean, it's not just crypto. Like, they are just crypto, but they have many more avenues of revenue than simply the fees that they're taking. And they're taking a lot of fees. So, you know, there's a lot more there. There's staking. There's going to be the lending side of things. So I like Coinbase for the future. And I mean, I've talked about that in length. So I won't be trading it today. But hey, if it has crazy moves, I will be.
Let's go to NVIDIA. Another day, another move back to the upside. We saw yesterday the chip makers, semiconductors, kind of leading in the tech sector. Some of the big name tech stocks as well were higher. But NVIDIA with a big day yesterday. That came off news last week. Remember the 4-for-1 stock split. Going to start trading, guys, split adjusted on July 20.
I mean, look, most people won't publicly say when they're buying, let alone the price that they're buying, right? I do. So there you go. Long NVIDIA. This is from Friday, 604.73, right? We added to our long 100 already. So 604.73, long NVIDIA. We added that. We talked about it. I said, you know, I talked about that. We loved NVIDIA. We didn't understand. This was back on Friday when we were long this name, and I was just pounding the pavement saying, you know, this split is much, much better than people are giving this credit for. I can't believe the action. It was 580 up to 600, and I was just buying. Thank God it did wind up coming back, and it wasn't that bad of a day after all on this name. But then you come in Monday. I was actually looking at buying options. Instead, I just bought the stock. But, you know, 604, 625 yesterday, 625, 630, 635 this morning, right? And so, yeah, the 604 rate remains, you know, pretty decent buy. And again, I'm just glad that I stamped my name on it. You're not going to find people that are going to put their name on prices. I love NVIDIA. I love AMD. Let's go.
I mean, I'd love to see AMD get going for sure. NVIDIA needs to get back to that high. It was a fantastic opportunity at that 500 when it did have that little higher low that it put in, and you're finally seeing the follow through on that particular price. The day trade in NVIDIA was so far so good. I mean, the last time we were trading it, it was a fantastic bit of a breakout and a bit of a dip buy as well. And I think if you're looking for something along those lines, it's got to be like a 620 area, about $10 from here. You look at that daily, I think it can have obviously a little bit of trouble at that 650 mark. I think that would be perfectly healthy if it got a bit of a pullback into that price. And you know, given how much it's flown, only about 1% right now, you know, if this turns into a negative session, I think the chip space is probably a place you're going to want to be able to get into. And the only reason I bring up AMD, for me, not always the best day trading stock in the world, but for a couple of sessions now, you're looking at this like 78 level, and you know, trying to have it stay in the sun for a bit of a follow through as a day trade. And that's going to stick out a bit like a sore thumb. Some more room to run, I think, to the upside than in NVIDIA. It has a very, very clean 28 right into this resistance at 29, which it's had also trouble getting through. And then if you go, let's go back to the daily chart here. If you go there, you do have that 80 level as well. So you have some obvious sort of levels for breakouts and scalp trades in AMD, where, you know, in NVIDIA, I'd much prefer to be buying that little dip instead of a break.
Go to the reopening stocks. They were the other group that benefited heavily yesterday from Some increased volume if you guys, that is Neil's quote board and Neil's chart that we're still showing on CCL. Robbie, if you want to come back to me, that would be great. I am not seeing that, but okay, great, cool. Let's talk about some of these hotels, casinos, and some of the cruise lines benefiting yesterday from the rally that we saw move back into the tech stocks and tech sector. I want to talk really about MGM here because the bigger news was that Amazon apparently nearing a deal, $9 billion in total value for MGM. So we are back to the upside here for MGM.
Oh, I want to talk a little Amazon here because for me, look, I love some Amazon. They're actually a bit of a breakout. You haven't seen a gigantic move here, and this has been speculated for some time, Brendan, that this could be coming through, but you're not really seeing a monster breakout just yet, but we are getting back towards that 3,300 mark. Now, it's interesting. It's been 2 quarters in a row that Amazon has made close to basically like a 10% pullback after some fantastic blowout numbers, and 10% pullback, then right back towards those highs. So Amazon right here, right now, looks absolutely fantastic. You get this acquisition, maybe you get that 3,300 break through for them here today, and that could be it. I mean, MGM has a lot of. MGM's going to give you, I think it's like a. They have, was it Survivor? I think they've also got a James Bond in there. So it's going to be an interesting, I guess, consolidation. They're taking aim, of course, at some of the other Amazon, that is, taking aim at some of the other streamers there. And this is going to be a strong move for them. Obviously, Apple's been trailing behind. They got to battle that Netflix. Disney as well is trying to make some headwinds, but Prime does have some ways to go to obviously catch up to Netflix, but Amazon is so much more than that. And for me, the participation in this move, or this recovery, I think at least in the tech space, is just beginning for them. And then we get through that 3,300 mark, and it's going to be a little bit of all systems go action for Amazon. I'm not saying they're going to get to the highs tomorrow, next week, but you get through that 3,300, I don't think it's a very long time before we get there. And you're certainly not going to get, Sean had the poll there, September 1st at 2%. Can the NASDAQ get there? If the market's doing that, I promise you Amazon has broken that high.
Bit of a technical issue that the guys are working hard to try and sort out at the moment. Sean, maybe you want to have a look at some of these reopening stocks. We talked a little bit about the cruise lines yesterday, some hotels, even Penn National with a huge move on the day yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about, try DraftKings as well. I don't know, what was Penn up yesterday? DraftKings was a monster move yesterday. But look what happened near the end of the day there on the 1-minute chart. Like, is this even for real? Like 49, we were watching this. I don't know why we missed this on the show, Brendan, yesterday. 49 down to 47. Remember I told you guys it's time to take some profits on DraftKings? But now we're right back up. So that was a weird one. Let me just check in. What did Penn do near the end of the day as well? Come on, Penn, NASDAQ stock. 80, yeah. Penn hasn't been in $80 for a long time. So reopening, I don't think this is, so the same kind of fade there off at the end of the day. I guess the NASDAQ did come back down. It's really nice to see DraftKings Donkey Kong, which is the name that I always trade here on the show, back to the upside here again. So they're coming back to that little level. Oh, come on. They're back to this level here of 48, 49.50. Remember, there was rumors that they were going to buy Bleacher Report. They talked about doing a little bit of that, last year. So we'll wait to see if that's going to be true. But I'm loving this move up on DraftKings. I said that, baseball right now is a joke. It's, ridiculous. So I don't think anybody's gambling on baseball. People are waiting for football, man. College football coming up soon, NFL coming up soon. So I think that's, where a lot of the gambling is going to be. And then forget about baseball for now, but there's also basketball playoffs. That's going to be a little bit better and drive some revenues back. I saw golf on the weekend. I don't think that was too crazy. I don't think a lot of people had Phil Mickelson at 250 to 1. But let's just talk about DraftKings. Taking out 49.25 is a great level. I said I'm not going to get interested until we're back into the 50s. But I own way more DraftKings than I even thought I did. So I'm happy with this move coming back to the upside here. And I think as a reopen play, I like DraftKings. I think the more people in stands, the more sports, the more everything, the better DraftKings is. So I like DraftKings. Let's just wait to see where it goes. If there's a reopen play, I'd be here. I think there's too much uncertainty with CCL and all the cruise lines right now. And Disney, to be honest with you, I can't believe I didn't sell that name. I think that's going to be a dog for a bit.
I can't get. I mean, the thing about it's not necessarily like Carnival or any of those names aren't decent for the day trade or for some kind of momentum, but they're just better places to put your money. This is the difference in DraftKings, at least, is even if it doesn't break that 50, I think you have some cover back into this 45 area. So if you do have like a 4 or 5 chop zone, you have a bit of a higher low that's trying to put in here on the march back up to where I think there'll be a decent level of like 58 to 60 if it gets to that little bit of a top. So it gives you some action. If you like that swing, you maybe have a $4 or $5 worth of risk if you get it in front of 45, of course. And then the 50 breakout looms for us, which I don't like as a day trade, and you guys know that. What DraftKings has been like when you try to day trade it. Certainly the swing levels seem to hold up a little bit better, Brendan.
Yeah, just bear with us, guys. Again, we're having a little bit of a technical issue here. The guys are working hard to resolve this as quickly as possible, and we will be back with you visibly as soon as we possibly can. KE Holdings. I want to talk about this KE Holdings. It popped up one day last week. This is a Chinese name. We've been talking a lot about, regulations in China. We saw some of the online education companies as well pop up yesterday after a couple of big moves to the downside on chatter of increased regulations around online education companies in China. So that story continues, but this KE Holdings down big time on that today.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kathy Wood even sold, I think it was last week, she sold a chunk of this as well. And there was a spike into, and obviously you're going to see this level here in the daily chart, like a 5260 area, where the first flush happened in May, and that was a couple of weeks ago. And then you're going to get another move down, this 3% that you're seeing here. Keep going on because the show goes on. 50-70 is going to be this area. If we can get back into here in reverse, that's where I happen to like the short on BEKE, but the volume at the top of the list for actionable trades.
Not sure if we'll continue along here. ANPAC Bio, we mentioned ANPC, big mover here in the pre-market as well. They said back on May 17th, they've approved a joint venture with another company. So ANPC on the small cap side, we're a couple minutes away here, guys, from the open, but good one with lots of volume here in the pre-market.
No, this has been a good one. 7 million shares worth of volume. It put in a top at like 640 or so. Made a test of it right at 8 o'clock when you get that volume spike coming in from retail. I had a tester in there and really should have had a bigger position to the short side off 615. It then broke down, tried to hold this previous level at 580. Once it consolidated off that level, I shorted it right in here off of 590. Was able to get a bunch out right into this 560 level. Further consolidation here. I'm then shorting that off of the break at 580. That's what I'm sitting in now. I got these 60s to the short side. Was able to get some out at 540. So it's been a pretty active morning. If this pops into 930, of course, I don't average in between 925 and 930. That's a bit of a rule of mine. But if we can get into this 580 area and roll over, maybe even 6 even, I'm certainly willing to add to this short position in ANPC, which is already a good one.
Okay, so new position alert right now on AMD. Guys, let us know. Can you guys see anything or just hear us? I have no idea what's going on. I can't see. If you guys can get program back on my screen, I don't even know if program exists anymore. Yeah, so AMD just hit a tank spot there, down to 77. So we're long at 77.26 right now, and just waiting to see what we can do here on the long side of this trade. So AMD back down to 77. We'll see what happens, but breaking
AMD,
right now. So we'll wait on that one. Ride though, guys. We've already taken a nice little win on Ride here. And again, I don't know. Okay, looks back to normal. Okay, there it is, fixed. See, all we got to do is call, guys. Get some people out here. Ride, 817. We just took that out. Good. Thank you so much, Mark, Randy, Rob, Lucas, Maggie, everybody working on that. That means a lot. Sometimes we're going to have technical issues, guys. With only 30 seconds left, do you want to run over to the bell there, Valeria? Let's get ready to ring that bell with only 30 seconds left, Miss V. Please get over there. Ride, we just took that out at 8:14. We took it out at 8:21 as well, and we're short now. Long AMD here. Let's see if it works through 77, guys. Going to give this one back down to 76.50. Long AMD right now.
Yeah, and I'm all over this ride as well, guys. I don't know if you guys are seeing. Let us know in the chat. Make sure that we're all good here. If Ride wants to make any kind of a pop, we're about to drop that bell. We got about 10 seconds to go. But if this thing wants to pop into that 840, 850 range, I'm willing to short any kind of strength that Lordstown wants to show us here. Coins at that 230. So top end of the range, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's get this party started. Market is open. And Ride be fallen, because that's what, oh my goodness, yeah, it's already falling. Remember, 8 is also a break. If we can get shares on an 8 break in Lordstown, I also like that level as well, if we can get them.
And there it is. We're already raining it down, man. No Arun, no problem. AMD 77.26. A nice 50-cent rip to the upside. We'll look to get some out at 80 if it wants to go. A big move up here for AMD. We're already starting our day off right. Let's hit the sirens, guys. Big day alert happening, and we just started. Ride to the short side. AMD with a big winner. Let's go, man. Let's get this party started. Big day alert happening already.
And we talked about that 560, 580 on ANPC. It just bounced off the open. You sell into some of that move to the upside. It got to 62s. I was able to add there only at 54s. So already looking rather weak. And I said Coinbase had made a push to the upside. I was looking for 225 dip. Instead, we break and are coming back to the downside. Now, if this move takes us all the way to like a 227, I'll step up buying instead of 225. I'll look for about a 227 area on a dip in Coinbase.
Okay, so there goes Ride. We're going to tank through $8 soon, so another win for us. Look, both long and shorts over here, guys. Nice one, 26 cents now in the money on Ride. And as I look, I don't have any bids. So let's see what happens as this thing's going to crash through $8, man. This was exactly on our sticky note, man. Everything right now reigning supreme. Adios, Ride. And man, are we hitting this one. Great trade on the short side. We just got out again at 8:02. We talked about that. No other bids lower. And look at AMD, guys. Long, 77.26. Win. Let's go. That's all we're doing around here.
And yeah, we talked about AMPC 2 seconds ago. Reverse, not reverse. It's going to pop up at the open. What are we going to do? We're going to sell into any strength. That's exactly what happens. 550, now down to 520. So we start the party at 6. We add to it at 580. We add to it at 560. We add to it at 550. It's now down in the 520 range. Just closed at 470. So, even if it gets to 5 even, I want to have a little bit on board just in case ANPC wants to come all the way back, which you never know. Sometimes they give it all up. Ride does break that 8. I have a price of 819 because I added there, and I said I'd sell into any kind of strength, so it tries to flush out. Yep, it's going to pop back into 820. That's about my price here. That's exactly where I want to make sure I get more shares in. It looks like Coinbase is gonzo to that upside. 231, so we're not going to get the dip buy, unfortunately, on Coinbase. But Virgin Galactic doesn't give you that push. So it looks like it's all weakness, not even into 26 even. I'll probably have to play the 75s, or the quarters to the 85s if I want anything to the short side. Virgin Galactic looks like it's not going to give me that pop that I can short into.
Okay, so we're in a new position here. We're in Palantir. A light one again. Remember, when we break the pre-market highs, although I don't have my chart up here, it was 2160. We're going to wait for that. That was a test trade. We're going to wait for this to drop back down. We want to buy 21. So we are into Palantir. Just light to hold it. We'll see where this goes. Ride back down to the downside again. So 793. Good reload on that one, man. Up to 820 for Neil. I didn't reload it. Good reload up there. I'm still getting a little bit nervous that this thing could blow up, but again, it's not. So Ride to the downside. Let's see how long we can hold this one up for.
We forgot to mention this one. And look, if we're going to be shorting a name like Lordstown, just keep in mind, it's like 19% short interest. I actually thought it was a little higher than that, to be honest with you guys. But Brendan let us know 19% short interest. It just touched, I just got filled at 790. Are you kidding me? Let's flush this one down the toilet. Clearly, I've had some muted success shorting this in the past, but today, all so far, so good on Lordstown, that is. And look, I mean, I wanted to get into into space. I tried to get into Virgin Galactic. It has not cooperated just yet. It is trying to pop back into this 75 to maybe give me a chance here, but it can never seem to get deep enough or strong enough into the move for me to short this pop. Brendan?
All right, another one, Chinese ties here. This is Up FinTech, TIGR, 14%. Big mover off the open here with volume behind it. $19 broke there, guys, on a huge volume spike for TIGR.
All right, so we throw the hot dogs around again because we have another win here. Palantir does take out that high. We talked about that. Let's wait. We're waiting in the 70s to get some out. We're long at 61. It's just 68 right now, so we're waiting to see that one. And here we go, AMC. Let's go. This is what you guys want to see, so let's see if AMC takes it out. 09s. There we go. A quick little 10-cent scalp. In at O's, out at 09s. I guess 9 cents. Now let's wait to see where AMC goes, man. We're long AMC. We're long Palantir. We're long AMD. We're long AMC. We're short right now. So let's just go see how far we can take this thing. I don't know if AMC has anything left in it. Thank you, Ms. V. But you know, that 16, that 1537, that's a high print there. I think we should just get out. If we get into the 20s here on AMC, let's just enjoy this rip there through 14. I don't know if it has legs to go any higher, but we're going to watch this one. AMC long time. Let's go.
And whoa, so that was an interesting pullback just happened in Square here. Off the pre-market high, just dipped into like 213, so that's when we first dipped by. It actually smacked at 212. Now, I was trying to add here. The opening range bottom was 211.50. I can tell you right there, it was a very, very quick bounce back. Someone gobbled those shares up once it got to 212.50. So I guess if I want more, it's probably going to have to be a little bit close to that price. The market's trying to roll over a little bit here, so you don't want the low to go. But certainly Square looks like it's going to be a decent add. Rye, we got some out, and you know I want to rinse and repeat if I can on this particular name. So I went ahead and did that, got some 825s up here. Price is going to be 815 currently, and then looking to play every single rollover that we can. Brendan?
It's funny, we were talking about Canopy in the pre-market, and Tilray pops up initially here, 2.5% on volume, guys. So some of the cannabis stocks getting attention early.
Okay, guys, and here it is again. Let's spin it. This is your favorite animation, and it's generally a good sign when we're hitting this animation. Look at Palantir, guys. Bang, 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 and now upside. So our price long on Palantir right now, 21.54. We did average in. We got a 51 there. So 51 plus 61 puts us right in the middle. So let's go to the upside right now. Is this name Rip City for us? AMC, a little Rip City action up to 14.15 right now. So our shorts working, our longs working. This is a working kind of day here as we get out of AMC again. Man, this is a good day one more time. Let's watch Square. We're in this one now. 212.69er. So let's see if Square wants to go to the upside here. We're going to give some downside looks here. 210 maybe is a problem. But for right now, Square, we're long. It's our only loser. But hey, we got to have some every once in a while, guys.
I mean, you don't want in every single trade. Just want to come back to NVIDIA. This is the name that was from our list, and it's starting to roll over. Now, you're going to get this 625. Talked about a few levels in case things got hairy on NVIDIA, and if it comes to 610, gotta have it. And we're about, I don't know, like $5 into this move, and afternoon support is being tested. I got to clean up this wick so the scaling will be a little bit better. Brendan, what you got?
Reopening stocks yesterday, we mentioned in the pre-market here, some of them moving again. Here's AAL. You can look at really any of the cruise lines as well. In positive territory, coming up to a recent pivot here, $24 up here on AAL, guys.
All right, I'm looking to get some more Square, to get into some more Square here. But Palantir, nice rip. We've got some out here. Our best out 72, so that's been a good trade. AMC, we did get some out at 15, 16. The high's 20, so I think we could sit around 25 and get some more. You know what? Let's just put an order right now to get some out around 25 there. If it goes pops back up, we want to be a part of that one. Ride, I'm going long through 840 if it breaks. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's my call there. We'll see if that comes through. And then we're going to... I'm letting AMD fall down here. I want to give it to the, I mean, we've already taken out the profit. I'm going to give it downside a little bit. 76.50, that's 77. We'll have to look at a longer time frame, but 76.50 is going to be my kill spot there for AMD, guys. But everything working out nice so far. We just need AMD to get going, would be even nicer if that can rip. But I don't mind taking a dip buy here in AMD if we can get it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to have an area where you like to defend. I mean, I just saw Square bounce a little bit off 212 for the second time, and then bouncing for the third time here is going to be that Virgin Galactic into this 25.75. Now, I've missed this scalp trade twice, so you can't necessarily dig in as much as you're going to want to. But I got to trade it through to this 26. If 26 goes, you got to start looking for other levels. There's not a heck of a lot. I mean, 27.50, of course, yesterday in the afternoon was the top, and that was a significant level on the daily chart. First things first, we're going to be shorting in front of this 26. I just got 62s here, so we're going to start that one and then maybe get an average price close to that 25.75 on the way to the upside. AMPC is still absolutely flushing, so that one looks pretty good to the downside. And I will scalp some out for $1 on the first leg if I get some on Square.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably gonna hold Square, but we'll see. We're already in the money right now, 30 cents. We'll wait for that one. AMC, a nice move, man. Out. So yeah, let's go the backflips on AMC as we took that 14 break, and now we're ripping this one. 14.30, guys. Let's take out one more piece on this. Why not? Out 33s right there. Bang for that trade as we just continue to go. We're at one-time daily goal now as Square ripping faces off now. This was another one of our calls, guys. One of the best ones that we had. 212.50 right there. Look at that. Multi-day break. And there it goes, man. Hit the party time on Square. Spin it. This is what we're doing today. It's a big trade alert on Square. Break, Square, break. 215. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, 215 is another level I'm going to be taking some profit out of in front of Square, so we like that dip buy. The only thing that was crazy is when it came into 212, I'm telling you, someone was already lined up to bounce that trade, so wasn't able to get quite as good of a price on the reload as we liked. I'm going to play buying the dips every single chance I get and then continue this break. I think 220 gives you some space on this particular one. Speaking of space, that's starting to move back into that upside here, so we're going to get that reload in front of 26. Brendo?
The one we were talking about yesterday and last week, guys, Ford with another move here from 1310 back to 1340, guys, on volume as well. 2.5% for Ford.
Let's go, man. We've been talking about this, man. We've been talking about Ford. Ford, we crushed that stock yesterday. And then today, yes, sir, our last buy posted on Twitter. 11:30, guys. We just bought Ford at 11:30. I told you that this drop down was buy. So we bought right down here. Ford, nice little break. We talked about that yesterday, breaking these new tops. So today, you're right here, man. Yesterday's high, 1365. Man, that got going yesterday. That was unbelievable. So we'll have to wait to see what Ford wants to do. But right now, man, $2 in the money. We already took out part of our Square trade for a $2.50 winner. So let's wait to see where we go now. Oh yeah, check out AMC, boys. Let's go, and girls, everybody. Check out AMC to the upside, man. We're running into a problem. 1450. Let's see if it can hold it. But right now, we're party central over here on Trader TV Live as we're going to go perfect Street Fighter style or Mortal Kombat style. You pick your poison. I will defeat you in both. We'll go back and we'll go perfect. There it is. Look at AMC go. Let's go, AMC. What a day.
AMC certainly, I mean, AMC a fantastic one. We tried to get to CCL and some of those names when we had some of those technical difficulties, but watch out. 29 looming very, very closely here. You're going to get a big break, and obviously there's been a lot of resistance around this price. Lower high, it spiked in here a couple of weeks, about a month or so ago, and then reversed hard. 29 is setting up to be a bit of a scalp trade for me. You know, on AMC, if you get like that, so AMC, CCL, sometimes you get that like 96, 97, 98 trade, and you risk like 5 pennies. I'd like to start this one probably in the low 90s and be willing to have a 95 in front of it, guys. So I like CCL up here. Certainly it could have been a bit of a breakout trade for me, but I got to go the other way because we missed that long while trying to get that Square. Square hasn't even dipped off 215, by the way, so I'm still looking to buy more shares if it gets to 213, maybe even call it 213 half. And yeah, that's right, ANPC still low. Ride is holding 820 to 840, so I've been holding off on adding anything to my Lordstown short until it actually makes a test of 850. But getting into CCL in front of 29 even, guys. Brendan?
NIO with a monster move yesterday, guys. We're off to a good start here again, 3.75%. Just had an alert there through 37 once again for NEO.
Oh man, I said on the sticky note, guys, make sure you check it out. It's fire again today. I just hope it gets 100 likes and I can post it tomorrow. But right now, Neo dip buy. Look what I wrote at the very bottom. Yeah, I don't know if you can't really see that, so find it on Twitter. Maybe Valeria can post that. Dip buy if possible. Okay, so there's the dip buy down to 36. I mean, where are my bids at? 35.76 was my best bid right there. So we actually missed that today by about 15 cents. So we'll have to watch NEO off the open, but dip buy if possible. We talked about that, but there it is now up nice, Brendan, up 4.21%. Hell yeah, for that name. Palantir, let's go again, man. We haven't had this in a while. Floss Central on Palantir. This one's up. Like, let's just go over these trades again, guys. 40 cents in the money, 25 cents in the money, AMD, 20 cents in the money, Palantir, 15 cents, in the money ride, whatever. Square was $2.50 in the money, now pulling back in. So we already cashed out of that one. Let's get some more longs into Square, guys, if we can. But for right now, let's just enjoy this. We almost got a top wick there, out 215. I think it teed up. Oh no, I actually got as high as 215.50 there. So let's wait to see where Square goes from now. No more building this position. We'll just wait. We've got enough shares here to do some damage. So we'll do that. And then we're looking for ride to take out the top here so we can go long. But other than that, man, it's been a big, big monster day. 1 times daily goal. It looks like the streak is going to continue for now.
And there we go. I mean, we just had the scalp trade on CCL there. It got right down into the low 80s, so we're able to take some at 92. Said it started a bit earlier, and then got some out in the low 80s. Then it spikes up, and suddenly I'm shorting 97s. It is touched 90. It hit 01s. If you have too tight a stop on an even level break like that, you probably got wicked out. So that'll happen to you. The downside of that, of course, is if you don't give it that extra cent, you would give up an extra couple of pennies there. But I'm still in this one, and I'm still looking to add in front of that 29 even. But looks like some strength has come into CCL there. I'm not sure. I mean, I saw someone in the chat say, and I think they were like, Neil, are you shorting the turn on AMC? I'm not going to be shorting AMC and CCL at the same time, guys. So Carnival is the one I liked off that 29. I just reloaded to get myself a 95 price. It was 92s the first time we got a winner off of. Looks like 29 might go. Valeria at the big screen.
Hey Neil, Clover Health is moving to the upside. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in CLOV today?
Well, usually I'm only going to be involved in Clover when it makes I mean, look, this is going to look like, it's somewhat of a parabolic move. It's actually only about 30 cents, and we still haven't broken out through this like 725, 730 area. I'm probably more inclined to like Clover once it makes this break through 730. And then if you like the short, obviously I'll be looking for it at like 8 and then again at 830. That's going to stand out on this chart. But you got to make a real breakout. This has been basing out and trying to go, fading every single one of these moves. So you want a clean break through probably that 730 area, 725 if you like those quarters. But I'll go with this. You got to have moves every now and then. And we just broke through 29 on CCL. My first short 92s got out 82s. Then we short again, get a 95 price, and out. It looks like I got 02s on the upside, though, so give it that extra penny. Brendan?
Just saw GameStop pop up here, guys. My daily chart not working, but 5% here. This is a volume alert, so we're already up 5%, but just took out 190 there for GME moving as well.
Yeah, GME, everything, man. Chicken dinner winners today. AMC is the big one for me, but look at Palantir as well. Another winner for us, guys. We're going to go 15-1 or however many days there are this month again for you on the show, guys. Sticky note remains supreme. We can go over that in a bit, but there's AMD, a nice rip to the high side. That's crazy because, again, this happened to me again, and I know yesterday we brought over Valeria. We won't do that again today. But 76.80 was my bid downside on AMD. So tomorrow I'm going to start upping the game. But check out Square, guys. You want the #1 trade on the sticky note? That's Square. Long, 212.50. Check where I'm long, 212.50. This thing's at 216. We put our money where our mouth is. Let's hit the air horn, man. We're rocking and rolling. Shout out to Arun as well. What's up, Brendo?
IPOE again today, guys. It's been a lot of days in a row here to the upside since this was announced. But remember, May 27th, the final vote, or the final day to cast your vote for the merger. But SoFi set to start trading June 1st, guys, for this one.
Yeah, look, not usually day trade there, but you have to watch out because it has been a volatile one. The ride has been interesting to say the least. I mean, when we broke that 8 even on Lordstown, this is bottom wick here, 788. I got out some shares at 90, and then we spiked back up. Should have reloaded a couple of times here at 25s because it does look like the lower high from the pre-market, that 835 area, is holding for now. I think that gives you a bit of an actionable zone. Of course, the pre-market high at 855 or so gives you another bit of a stop. But I'll go with the tight one first and then look to see if we can't get some kind of a reload. So I'm going to short some more shares on Ride. It's Lordstown, that is. And if we break this 35, I'm willing to get out, try to get back in front of that 855 level. And then I like 875, I like 9 even. I don't really have any long ideas that I'm too concerned about or in love with on Lordstown, so I'm going to try to stay away from it. Yeah, I mean, off the open, we talked about this, and it happens to you every now and then. You get that little dip buy, and then you miss that price. So I said to you guys, when we broke down, I like that 2270, so 227.50 area on Coinbase. I threw a bid. We bounced at 227.80, so missed about 30 or 40 cents. Looks like these $5 ranges are still there. The dip buy was just a little bit higher than I anticipated here on Coinbase. So I'll look back towards this 228. If it wants to stay range bound, I think that's the range we're going to have to play. So 28 to about 32, 33.
And there it is, guys, ending the trade there with a nice little win on that name. 50 cents there on AMD. So we take it out there, and that's a big, big win, man. So we'll catapult ourselves out again. Like 77.20, out. I mean, we don't have a loser on board today, so let's just keep it going. And hopefully we keep the momentum going north side here. Well, let's see on the market. It's coming down, though, and it's funny because generally speaking, when I'm trading this many shares and things like that, we get nervous when the market's going this way. But today, we got the right names in the right space. Ride, I told you, I'm going long through 840, so let's wait to see. My damage is already all done on the short. We're cleaned up. We're holding a small one just so we can watch this. So let's watch this go through 840, guys. Ride, we called that. So here we go again. The high is 850. We'll see if we can take that out on a break, but that's the only position that I'm really waiting for. I mean, Palantir, I mean, why not, man? Pigs get slaughtered, but we're not getting slaughtered today because we're not being that guy. We're getting out. Out. 40 cents now in the money. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. Let's go. We're almost out now of Square for a $3.50 winner. Again, off the sticky note, guys. What up, E?
Dow. I mentioned a couple of the airlines earlier, but Delta here just popping up on volume, guys, 47.80, which is the high of that wick if you go back about a week ago. So we're right at recent highs. Huge volume, needs to be said, in the airlines today, guys.
So we actually recently, look, we've been doing some educational videos. You guys know about that. We're going to be dropping a lot of them for you. One of the things that I've talked about has been that 830 opening range sort of breakout, fail through the top. And again, failed breaks are going to look a little bit different. But when you have a move like this in EDU, breaking 840, failing to get through yesterday's high and then a hard reversal, you look for that second leg to the downside. I'm talking about the one that's currently happening. It's about 825 to 830. I like that short in here. If we can catch anything in front of this level, you still have a breakdown at 10, which is already tried once here in the pre-market. I will say with caution with EDU, that's what the chart looks like on the daily level. This one, again, is on our watch list, but some of these smaller names, I like to allow them to make their opening range before you step into it. So if we get anywhere close to that 810, 815, 825 area, I want to be shorting every single pop I can. In EDU, just because volume is good doesn't always mean it's the safest thing to trade. The stock is on 25 million shares, though, so liquidity has not been a concern yet. Look for this break here at 995. It could be okay. I'd much rather short on weakness. You can see me throwing some offers in that 1015 to 1020 range. And then, of course, I'm still in Ride. I mean, if it's going to hold this level, here we go. If it's going to hold this level, which it just did, I actually want to see if I can't get more shares. It just failed, broke through. Usually that's a good sign to catch more on a bit of a rollover. Not 790, you can't ignore that. You probably can't ignore even as well. Or sorry, 8 even as well as two places that you have to take off some profits. But it just tried to jam to the upside. I'll take some out in VWAP. And then, of course, all the way down to that $8 and then 790, which could be its own break a little bit later on. I'm still holding some Square, and we do like that one and want to hold on to at least a little bit of it to try and see if you can't get that bigger move. That's going to be my plan of action with Square. CCL, scalp win, broke, came right back to the downside. It looks like for now, Obviously there's going to be a bit of an upward trend. If it gets and holds below like a 28.80, I think maybe the pullback's going to be in sight, but that's going to be like a one-win, one-loss situation. I don't want to fight the tape too hard because there was some serious buying that just came into the top of CCL, though the market is rolling over. So for some of those longs, not a bad place to be starting to take some profit off as the market tries to come back here.
Yeah, the ES is definitely falling down here. Not so much the NASDAQ too, actually, both now coming to the downside. So we got to watch out. We did get a little bit greedy there on Square and didn't take it out. We were waiting for 216 high side. That didn't come in. Now Square's pumping right back to the downside. So let's watch out for that one. We want to reload it, but not maybe at lower levels. 210, 210.50, something like that. I just got to make sure that I have the right orders out before we go here. So so that Square was still going. AMC, nice move. We didn't get any out at the very top, so maybe now we'll put an order out around 1450, 1460. Remember we did this before, and then it was like, we forgot about our order, and then we got short there. So let's wait to see if that happens today. Hopefully not, and we can have some good order management. We'll get out around 1460 or so on Square. Hopefully that can come back to the upside. A good out on AMD, although it does rip to 78. That's on the sticky note as well, watching out for that 78 level. So maybe we should have followed that as a short, but we'll see if AMD can come back in. Probably NVIDIA also falling back downside. Yeah, 619. Okay, that's nothing.
Not there yet.
But still only down 0.79%. So let's watch out for all these names, things ripping and moving around here for sure. Ride, we're still short and they never broke that area. And then Palantir, good outs there at 79. Probably should have took some more out again in the 90s. Wow, that was a big move up there. Let's put another offer mid 80s now as Palantir coming back in. Maybe it's going to be time for a reload. So let's watch out as the NASDAQ's reloading itself back to the upside.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about NVIDIA here. If it gets to that, maybe the teens, it looks like pretty good, but it just broke another low here on NVIDIA. Unfortunately, I liked 610, but I didn't think we'd be getting here quite this fast. ANPC, every now and then you're going to have those ones that are sort of sitting in here, and then it looks pretty calm. Yeah, well, it's not that calm. It just hit $5, so we're able to get some out. Off the open, we talked about that little push. Which one did we want to short at 930? This was the one here. It gave you 550s. There's another 10% move down. It's closed at 470, so I'm not sure there's too much more room to go to the downside on this. Probably another 25 cents, and then we got to be thinking about being all flat. Brendo?
Anyone wondering about this Lego stock? It's Legato Merger Corporation. That's a SPAC. So they announced today, I can show you this, Algoma Steel, Canada's Algoma Steel, going public, guys, with a merger with this Lego on the NASDAQ. So all kinds of volume in this thing, just breaking 10 to the upside.
Let's go. Let's go Lego there. Yeah, I don't know anything about that one, but we'll wait to see where we're going with that now. Again, Canadian name, so obviously one that we'll look at some point. Square going, Palantir, we didn't reload, but it's starting to go as well. So let's wait to see where Palantir goes. Right back in, man. Let's put an order mid-80s. Like we said, we tried to get long there on VWAP, but it just didn't come back into the low 60s. But here we go again, man. Market's starting to go upside one more time.
Yeah, I mean, the market trying to make that bit of a rebound. Of course, I wanted NVIDIA a little bit deeper. You got to take what the market gives you. This EDU on that pop, I don't think it matters that we're getting a market bounce, but either way, this stock is going to make a bit of a bounce here up. That 995 was that little bottom we had here. This is a Chinese education company. That's why I don't think that market bounce matters too much. I want to play in front of 1035, which that's right at 930 when it flushed. It tried to break through and then came back in hard. So I just got shares at 15s. We said we'd be starting it at the teens and then that 25 area. If it gets up to 25s, I'll certainly have a few more shares in this particular one. And I said I gave Square probably, and again, there's no perfect out when you're trying to hold on to some of these, but Square does come right back into that 212 area, and then I do miss that kind of a bounce. I'm actually sitting in front of 220. It's a bit of a habit, so I know where my target is going to be to the upside. The only thing here is if you bounce off that entry area and then get 215s again, and a couple of weeks ago I was guilty of not being aggressive enough in terms of taking shares out and then playing the range. And if 215.50 wants to be the top, sometimes you got to play the range in front of it, and I want to have that flexibility in Square. So got to find my way back into some long shares there. I mean, Ride doesn't seem to want to go, but Virgin Galactic, it just kind of feels like, of course, if there was going to be a losing stock today, it was going to be me shorting Virgin Galactic only for this to happen. So it's not quite the top wick, but I can tell you it's about 4 cents off of it here. And of course, now Space is down $1 from that top. So that's going to be me in Virgin Galactic. Of course, it had to be the one that I lost on.
Yeah. I mean, Virgin Galactic yesterday crushed that one. Wait to see today. I still put down, guys, not to touch Virgin Galactic until 24.75. So we're gonna wait for space on that one until it goes. I did have lower bids on Square, but like Neil was just mentioning there, sorry, we didn't get anything there. So it didn't tick down low enough for me to be too interested in Square. So now we'll celebrate it and we'll see if we can't go to the upside. I'm debating just taking a smooth dollar on this, but again, Square, one of those tricky stocks, not really sure what to do here. It could take out the high and then we just continue to rip City from there. So Square, a tricky name, but a name that we like regardless here. I'm into Square. Let's see where it goes. Happening now with Brendan, I guess, at the big screen. Looking kind of casual there, Brenda.
It is 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at how things are doing so far for North American markets here. You can see the Russell at the top of the board. Small caps having a nice day. 0.8%. You can see to the upside. S&P 0.4%. The BOVESPA on here today 0.3% down in Brazil. Here's the NASDAQ, both the composite and the 100, about 0.2%. So we are hanging on to positive territory, but only just. Same story for the S&P. You can see basically flat. Just 0.08% in positive territory still. A couple of things we were talking about. Yeah, I was going to mention this Virgin Galactic because that was a great opportunity up here. There's pre-market highs that came into play there right off the open, right back to day lows. But this was the move we saw late in the day yesterday for space on that short or possible short interest increase note from S3 Partners. Coinbase did take out the high there, guys. So we're back to recent highs anyways. Past couple of days, volume came in as we took out 232. So day highs there for Coin. Back over to you.
Oh, Coin. Look, I'm happy when it goes up. But, you obviously we're day trading here, and it is what it is. I put another bid in for a dip buy, and again, we're missed by about 30 cents. So I think one of these things that you got to do is sort of adjust your strategy, and if we get any more dips, it's going to have to be an aggressive entry into it, cross the spread. When it gets down below like a 230, cross the spread and just go long, or the same thing off of like a VWAP play, instead of just sitting around and trying to hope to catch those dips. I mean, twice in a row, you're going to get the same miss. So 240 obviously is a fantastic level. I just like to be able to catch something on a dip before it even gets there. I still have right. I'm not going to take anything off. I mean, I took some off when it broke this VWAP here at 815, but I'm not going to take any more off until it gets down to 8 even, and then that 790 bottom. We still have a chance that we can break those lows. Sometimes you've seen stocks like this where it feels like it can't go any lower than that, but if the momentum is downside and it tries to make the flush out and cannot even break the next level up, you can retest those bottoms rather quickly. EDU, I finally got that average in, so 1019 is going to be my price on EDU.
All right, guys, so you heard the sirens, and that means new position alert. So we're into Ford right now, guys. So a nice little bottom there at 312. We just took it. It just crashed down. So whenever that happens, we're going to go long on that name. So we're going to watch out for Ford here. We took some out at 15. Did I get a 6? I might have got a 16 print there. No, I didn't. Just 15s. It looked like a 16, but no, we got a 15 print now. So we're going to see if we can rip this thing to the high side right now. Ford should be able to come back here. We're going to use 13 as our dropping spot, obviously. As you can see, Ford right there, 13 yesterday. These were great longs. I don't know why that drop just happened there, so we'll wait. I mean, the S&P obviously created some of that. So here we go, right back up to 16, and man, we doing it again right now on Ford, and let's just see how high it wants to go, man. If it just keeps going, we'll just keep offering. Give me some 17s, man. We'll take this one. Bang, there it is again, man. It's all over the place. We've got winners everywhere. 1 position, 2 position, 3 position, 4. Why not just get more? We're just ripping this thing, guys. Square, big win. Ride, big win today. Palantir, a big win today. Ford, we're in that one. AMD's a big winner today. AMC is a big winner.
Things we talk about this, make sure you clean up. When you get winning trades, you're going to have those backside stops, which you don't want necessarily to get you into positions that you didn't want. PIRS, guys, Pierce Pharma jumps on collaboration with Genentech, I believe is how you want to pronounce that. This stock, if you can't notice on the daily chart where the chop and resistance is, well, I don't even know what to say to you guys. I mean, obviously $3 is going to be one. You have another level here at 280. It just popped into 266. Volume's been holding up, but that is a bit of a pre-market breakout at 260, and it's holding the top end of this range about 5 cents. So if it does break down 260, I'm going to be jumping into the short side of that trade. And show must go on, guys. Let me know if you are actually hearing anything. So just to recap, PRS, 280 is a level on the 280 is a level, $3 is another level on PRS, and if it breaks below this 260 and holds, I'm shorting off the top. But there's a couple of other levels I like as well. ANPC, it seems like it's a gift that keeps on giving. At least for me, we just broke again below $5. 470s yesterday's close. If it gets there, I intend on being all flat, but still hanging on to some shares when we reloaded at the open at 550. So that's been a pretty solid one to that downside. I said I got to be able to take some Square profit and then try to find a way back into it. Of course, Square is on the New York Neil. Trying to break through VWAP again. So you're getting a bit of a range bottom when the market rolled over here. Still looking for about 213s, I think, for a bit of a dip, but you got to be willing to take those out of 12s and then hunt for a lower price. If it gets back up to that 15 range, I will be taking profit off and then looking for another re-entry. So I can't sit here and say it's worth it at the top end of this range to take your wins and then get back into the trade if I'm not going to go ahead and listen to my own advice. So Square, looking for that profit center. I don't know what Ride is doing. Whoops. But certainly, it's a slow rollover. It's still showing some signs of weakness. The last thing you want in a stock with a 19% short interest is to get a wipeout bottom, hold VWAP, and then not get out when it makes this break. So I know that 855 is looming, but I'm gonna cover if this 840 breaks. It tried to break this level at 835 and then held 840. Usually that's a place to get back into shares, but you take some out of VWAP. I'll take more out in front of 8. On the backside, it's easy to start thinking about, okay, we're in the money, it's going great. What happens if it turns on you? Do you need to adjust your plan? Do you have to tighten your stop? Are you really confident? Obviously, I don't have to do any of that with ANPC. It's Ride that I'm concerned with because we are holding VWAP and putting in some higher lows. So as good as the short has been so far, you have to start to anticipate that if a flush bottom happens on a heavily shorted name, you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Speaking of which, Tesla just bounced off of 600. And it's about to test that level again. Clearly, it just turned negative on the session, by the way, guys. If you look back, 600 has had some significance to it. It's trying to make a bit of a defense here. I think if you're playing it, it's the same way I'd look at a CCL where I'm playing in front of 29 even. It's a very, very tight stop. That's the way that I'd play a 600 on Tesla when clearly it's running into some resistance off the top and rolling over. That move could easily take it $5 in the blink of an eye, and then from there another 20 down to that 580, which is 580 is a great level. If we get down to that price, we'll be thinking longs. But for now, it's 600. That even dollar level is looming.
Yeah, Tesla. We're waiting. I mean, Palantir's right here back to 50 area. I'm just getting nervous with the futures, obviously. You guys can see what that's doing right now, and it's not doing great things. So we're a little bit nervous with where this is going to go. I want to get this a little bit lower, so my bids aren't here for Palantir. They're actually, they're down near 21 evens right now. So I just want to see this thing. I don't want to see it dance around, but looks like it's trying to dance around right now. PLTR around these 50s. So it might be worth taking a little stab here. At some shares because this is the spot that was the high of the day yesterday. So yeah, you know what? Maybe I just talked myself into taking a little bit Palantir, but I am still waiting to get into some at the 30s and then even down here where we closed yesterday, 15, 16, 17, something like that on PLTR I think is decent spot. So we'll wait to see if we can get some. But for right now, it's back to the 50s, man. This is probably worth taking at least a little bit here on PLTR as we wait to see where it wants to go. But not a bad look, and then we just take small, and if it comes back down to the 20s, then we can get a little bit bigger. I'm still waiting for Square. We talked about that one. Neil just talked about that, so we can move on from there. AMD, we're starting to get longer. If it comes into the 60s and 70s, we did take that 78. It did put us back into a profit situation, which we did not take. So let's see where the NASDAQ goes from here, but right now we're waiting on AMD. We're waiting on NEO to pull back a little bit. Softies up to 251. Space 25, not near our 24.75 drop-off spot right now, but everything rocking and rolling. Let's just get some more Palantir before I talk myself out of this trade, as now it's up another 10 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk myself out of anything here, but certainly missed out on a chance. And look, it's going to happen to you. We talked about Ocugen off of those highs, and you're going to see it pull back in. It's been pretty range bound, so I don't know that you want to be forcing too much here. Watch for this 825 level. It has broken. It has not broken. It tested it a second time here off of the open. The level that was broken was that pre-market previous high, which is actually 835. If we get below that 840, you have to watch for Ocugen. And if we pop back up, I don't think you're waiting till $9. I think you're looking at that 875 to be the actionable level there. I did get into that PIRS finally, so playing that one off the high of the day. I think it's maybe testing this 265 is like, oh, there it is. I mean, testing it, and then it eventually breaks it. My math was obviously off, so if I get accidentally long, I get out. So I wanted a few more shares to the short side. When it broke, my stop actually reversed me in a long position because I don't want the long. I immediately get out of that trade. I like those levels that are a little bit higher, so I don't want to dip back into the short unless it's testing higher or below the 250 mark. Brendan?
We've had some of these little REITs and real estate type stocks popping up every once in a while over the past couple of days. Here is today's potential candidate, AHT, up about 12%. Just made a day high. Remember that MDRR? There was a few other ones as well going crazy. This is Ashford Hospitality Trust. AHT doing volume, guys.
Yeah, that was going crazy the other day when we had that name. So, damn you, Palantir, man. We just missed that bid. We should have had that. Someone wanted me to talk about Ford. You know what? The only thing we're going to do with Ford is this. Money, 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 money. You know, because we've just destroyed Ford. Like, not only are we long this in our own accounts, our PAs, but we're also long this right in front of your face, guys. Every single day we trade Ford, and we're loving Ford. So you guys got to get on board if you haven't traded it. It's been a great long-term stock for sure. And not only that, like, it's been a great day trade. Look for this dip down. All I'm doing is longing this name. Like, look where we're long now, 12s, man. And I mean, let's just go. We're perfect today. AMC, perfect. AMD, perfect. Ford, we're there. Palantir, we're there. Ride, what up, Playboy? We're right here. And then Square, we got a $2 win right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going 6 for 6 now. And yeah, making that cash. So really happy with the way today's been playing out for us. Roblox on the way down. CCL on the way up. We avoided that one. Brendan came with Tilray to us, and I sort of ignored that, but push enter, Sean. Tilray now up 4. Not 4, I wish $4, but 4%, just bouncing around. Let's see if we can catch Tilray back to 1550. Right now, it's just upside. I don't want to take any breaks. I always feel like every single cannabis name needs to be shorted on pops. So let's wait to see if that's going to be true for TLRY.
Ooh, that's certainly. I'm kind of with you on some of those names. I mean, not necessarily every single one. I'm going to be a little bit annoyed with myself with this Square because it looks like the dip that gave you that 212.50. That's probably going to be the one and done. If we break through 214, I still want that momentum to take me out at 215. Unfortunately, guys. So we didn't add to this position as it's been. I believe the word is whippy, and very, very whippy on the chart here. It's got some decent levels down here, but to get in, you kind of have to cross spread and be very, very aggressive. Unless you're staring at it in that particular moment, you're not going to catch that trade. It's going to be put up or shut up time for Lordstown here as it tests back up to this 830 range. There's not going to be any more averaging in from it. I'm not going to be adding to this position. I think it either breaks 840, and then we're looking for a break up to that 875 to play the short side of the trade, or not. So it is what it is. At this point, it's put up or shut up on Lordstown. I don't have any ideas to the long side of the trade. Well, not yet. I'm not looking for anything long. I'm still going to be shorting any of those pops. If it makes them. Looks like Tesla caught a bit of a bid. Now, the first time we tested, if it double tapped 600, I would have definitely liked it. Now you're going to test 605 here with the market trying to rebound. I'm not. If it comes back down again, standing in front of the sword after that fail up at VWAP, that's not the game that I would like to play. I'd rather see it bounce first and then catch a 601. So I'd much rather get 50 to 60 cents worse on a long position off of 600 than just stand in front of 600 on the way back to the downside. So Tesla's on the radar. I just don't want to be catching it in a move in a manner that I don't like. Coinbase, on the other hand, if you're looking for something which is pulling back and then holding some higher levels, Coinbase is probably going to be that for you. I still stand by looking at that 227 to 228 area. So for me, it's going to be preaching some patience. When you have a good morning, the last thing you want to do is start throwing away profit by chasing moves. So I want to make sure I pick my spots. One of them was ED, or is still EDU. It is right in the same consolidation range. So we have yet to break out and give me anything, give an out off of 1035. It has yet to break down to give me anything in front of those lows. If 990 were to break, yes, I'm taking profit in front of it, but that's also a decent place to be adding to the position on a breakdown. It has lots of room to run in terms of a gap. There's a full dollar from yesterday's close and all kinds of weakness in the afternoon. This is 995. First flush down, I look at that price about 10 o'clock. 995 was a pullback. It went a straight dollar to the downside. That's 995 on the low, basically right here, 990. So that's a place I'm adding to that short position, not taking it off. And all I have to do is complain about it. And then Square does give me that 215 out once again. I said I had to take profit in front of the high of the day and then get aggressive within the range. Taking a bit more profit here gives me a chance to buy back in front of pre-market highs at 213.25. Afternoon highs are pretty close by at 212.85 as well. So Square continues to give. There's a breakout that could happen through 216. I think it's much more likely we get a bit of a dip buy here at 213, just given the market, after making that recent low, not exactly screaming back up here, which is holding at 0.25% on the NASDAQ.
Money. All right, guys, there's another one. We talked about Palantir. We talked ourselves out of it, but there it is, another 20-cent win. And your boy just continues the destruction today. There's Square. Look at this, the #1 stock on the list, 212.50. Look where we're long, 212.53. Just took it out again. So bang, bang. Now we'll wait for the high side here and see if we can go on Square, man. Let's see how, I mean, if we just take this 215 out, well, 215.50, I guess, the high of the day here, then we're going to run on Square. And we still got a piece on board on that one. We're at our highest spot we've been at all day today, so we'll fire off a different kind of look for you. There's a different kind of hot dog there. It's been that kind of a day so far today. We'll be running that one through. And yeah, I may not do anything else here today. This has just been such a great day. Very, very profitable. Oh yeah, check out AMD again, guys. Dragon Slayed. We just tweeted out, man, we're 6 for 6. So I may just chill out and enjoy the rest of the day here. And we're rocking and rolling. So there's another out on AMD. Like, look at this. Bid, out. See ya, AMD. Man, this was a good buy. We just recently bought some AMD as well. We talked about that off these levels, man. We just bought some BABA, some Apple, some Ford, some AMD. Looking to buy some more Snowflake. Snowflake, not more. I'm not even in Snowflake. Snowflake reports soon, but that was the day that I wasn't here. I should have been, instead of watching the show, I should have been buying stock down here on Snowflake when we did dip down. But you never know where these dips are going to stop, man. This was really the buying opportunity right here, 211, 212. So we'll see if Snow can have a bad report. I don't want them to, but if they do and they come back down here into the 200s, I think we'll buy some Snowflakes. But wow, man, there goes Square. Let's go, man. We've still got this one on. Santa Claus is coming to town early this year. Where's that Santa one? Why is that not working? We'll just do the wink for you guys as well as we hold on to some Square, guys. There it is, off the sticky note. Hopefully we have 100 likes. We'll check back on that one soon. But there it goes up, man, 216. Let's just continue the party to the north side on SQ, baby.
Yeah, and I just got out of a ride. This is going to be Lordstown. The short side trade is still going to be on for me in front of 850. Well, in front of 875 if it does get there. I just wanted to. We're going to go to Brennan. We'll come back in a quick second. I wanted to get you an update on Virgin Galactic.
Just double checking on it. It was 8 o'clock. Finvolution, FINV, a name we've looked at many times here. Finvolution, FINV in New York. They did report here in the pre-market. This is a Chinese name as well. It got up to 870, but just got crushed. So the call started at 8 a.m. So I don't think it's still going, but a heads up because big volume coming in sell side here for FINV, guys.
And so I just want to quickly talk about Virgin Galactic 25. I have an order to go short through what is a double bottom for now. 25.01 technically is the low of the day, but the even is just going to have to suffice at least. We tried short one time. Of course, we took the hit on it. CCL through the top as well is going to be smaller because we actually scalped a profit. We never took any wins yet on Virgin Galactic. 26 and 25 stand out like sore thumbs here. So if we pop into that 26, I want to short off of it. I want to short off of 25 even if it makes a bit of a break, guys. So Virgin, we're not done with this name by any stretch of the imagination, although it's been range bound. That's why I'm looking for a break of that even because it's the bottom end of the range. And then be careful always. This does have a heavy short interest, so you have to make sure that you have a bit of an out. I don't think you want to give this one too far past that like 25 to 35 range. EDU is the other one that we're still sitting in. That's starting its rollover. I think it tried to test higher. That 1035 we had is a bit of an out here, and that's going to be off that opening range top. If it does roll down, I got a bid in front of 10, and I want to be adding if it breaks this 990 low. So a bit of a recap on that particular name. It looks like Square did not. I guess it didn't break. I thought I saw it break 216 there, but obviously it must not have. Otherwise, I would have been triggered in. If it does dip down, I like 213 before. If we're testing this again, I think VWAP could be in play here at 214 for Square. I want to stay active, but also a little bit nimble to be able to have that breakout trade to 216. If we think it can get to 220, that means there should be plenty of long side trades in Square.
Yeah, we're just straight chilling right now, guys. It's been such a good day. We did actually get a little bit of fruit salad there. It wasn't much, but some watermelon, some kiwi. Look, man, we're perfect today. You're not going to find a blemish on the report, so we're just going to wait for something to happen. We did go long ride and took out 7 or 8 pennies off that 840 break. We didn't even notice, probably because we're chilling, that we went to 850. So we're going to wait to see where ride goes now off that break. If it comes back down, we'll see about it holding this 8 level. But right now, we're just stone cold chilling. Palantir up 20 cents right now, does go up to 84, 85. The reason why we're not really doing much here is that we're just waiting for the market to do something. It's pretty light right now. I'm taking, some credit and looking at, I'll take a coffee, sure, why not? We are looking, yesterday, Arun brought up some good points. When you're in position and you don't see anything else, just let your positions work out. So right now, that's what we're doing. We're in the money on everything here, and we're just watching it go. So we're going to wait for ride. Square right now is $3 in the money. Like, that's up to 216. We'll see if that one breaks, but just taking a little bit of a break here as we'll relax and we'll be casual. It's been a big day for us, so let's let the market give back a little bit, and we'll look at some more stocks to trade. But that's what we're doing right now. That AHT, actually, Brendo, that is a little bit exciting to me now. So let's go look at that. AHT in the AM here. No, it's not. It's in the.
I thought it was Amex.
Yeah,
not.
No, it's not an AM. It's New York, actually. I just tried everything. 350 right now, a nice little spot here for this name. So let's watch out for AHT right here. I got to get the chart to work first.
I don't know why I thought. I was like so sure that was Amex for whatever reason. Whatever. It is what it is. I got it up here and it made another push to the upside. Now it's starting to get a little bit parabolic, if that's going to be the word of the day. Come on, daily chart. Oh, daily chart wants to. I'm hating you, daily chart. We already had a bit of a break through that 350 level. My 15 maybe. Okay, that's not going to go back far enough. So watching out for that $4 range. Now Square just finally broke 216. I had thought it made the break like a couple of minutes ago, but it looks like it had actually held on. Now, when we talk about that, and I just mentioned you guys 220, you go back into the 11th, 221.15 is where it got in a 220 break before making that harsh reversal. Now, if we think we can get there, got to get into this first chop zone or break through this first chop zone at 16s. Once we do that, I'll look for like $1.50 and then like $3 worth of a move to the upside here in Square up towards that 220 mark. So it's been dips. There's also been some breaks here in Square. And you guys are going over to Brendan for the small cap recap.
And there were quite a few this morning. Once again, busy morning to be involved in small cap land. I brought this right off the bat. TIGR, little Chinese fintech company. There is crypto ties here as well. So just a heads up, we were gapping up this morning above that last little pivot on the daily chart. If you go back a couple of months ago, this, what is it, 1880 or 1980 was a bit of a level. Resistance support going back on the daily chart. So that's all I was looking at. Just found that real quick. Gave you a quick long, but the volume on the buy side was impressive right out of the gate for TIGR. As you can see, we're kind of coming back in at the moment. PRVB, another one, 1150 got broken there on the way back down on heavy selling volume. So that was enough for me. Added versus 1150 here. We're about to make day lows for PRVB, still up big time for that one, and this one as well, kind of unwinding completely. 580 was support here in the pre-market, broke that. I kind of chased this a bit, but sized myself accordingly so that if we did get a test of 580 and then 6 again, could have added into this, but no such luck. All the way down through 5 already, guys, for that one. Back over to you.
Yeah, it's getting close to done. The end game, I should say, there for ANPC. Nothing as dramatic as when Thanos basically killed half the universe. But if it gets to yesterday's close, these gappers sometimes they like to give it all back. I promise. I didn't make up $4 on AHT. I wasn't just saying $4 because it was an even dollar level. Of course, yes, that's also true. But you go back into mid-March, and it did stall at $4 before making that recent. It's not the only time it's tested 180 and held up. It's done it a couple of times in the past year, at least going into the last quarter of last year. So ANPC gets to 4. That's where I'd be looking for an obvious short level without a rollover. You can just short. I would probably short just in front of it if it gets up there. It's still 10% away from that on AHT. Another high flyer. I know it's a parabolic move that usually I'd be rolling into, but I just like that 4 a little bit better on the daily chart. I'm just looking over at Square as it tries to continue this little bit of a. Did I do it again? Yeah, I did it again. And you know why? It's like if you're a good enough tech company it's just you trading long enough, and it's just in your head. It's on the NASDAQ, and of course Square is not. So I keep making that mistake. I usually say when you take a breakout trade, if it starts to stall out, take some profit wherever it happens to be. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if it only wants to be like that 50 to 70 cent range, I'll go ahead and see if I can't take that on Square. I want to be buying dips. And I think from here, it's not 16s. It's probably a 15 level that it has to test on the way to that 220.
Yeah, we're still holding this initial Square trade here. Good move, man. This is 450 now in the money. Ford, you want some Ford? Okay, we'll get some Ford love. We're talking about Square now, Randy. Thank you so much for that.
It's because you said 450 and he heard Ford 50.
Right. At
If
least
you say if there's an F in it, he thinks it's Ford every time.
All right. Thank you, Randy, for this coffee. Very, very nice. We'll just refresh ourselves. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, guys. That AHT missed opportunity. We did get more Ford, Randy, right now at the bottom as it's come down. Like, look, we basically got out of everything. Now you're seeing our average price now 08, right? That's this fill right here is 07. So we almost got rid of it all. Now we're doubled up into Ford. If this breaks 13, then we're going to have to get out of the way because Ford, that's going to be our level there, 13, looking at that from yesterday. So if it breaks through 13, we're going to be gone on that name. But we're long at 08 now on another dip down in Ford. So but I don't know. I don't know why this name is dipping like that, but we're going to have to protect it. We're going to look at a 20-period chart here, and there's that 12. Oh, yeah, that's right. We broke down to 1290 last time, so we may have to relook at a 1290 spot. As there goes Square, your boy still got this one. Now 217. Let's just keep rocking and rolling, man. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day again and again and again and again as the market just keeps on ripping, man. Ain't no stopping us right now. So here goes Square, man, 217. That's on our sticky note. You like it, you love it. That's it. Keep going to the upside. We'll check back on where that one is. Oh, we have a sticky note animation there. Finally got made. So there it is. There it is. Yeah, Tesla, AMD, Apple, Starbucks. Why not? We can change that every day with new symbols. That's too much work. There goes Square. Let's go, man. Party Central over here at Trader TV Live.
Yeah, I mean 217. I mean, a couple of bucks, and like I'll be taking it off. And it's not the entire market that's moving to the upside here. You got to find the right names. That's why we go over the watch list and give the ideas. Also real time too, so we can see that dip. It's like, do you still like it at this price? I did. I'll show you the winners and the losers, and this is why you get out if you make an accidental trade. Accidentally reversed into a long position off of PRS, so I had to double tap out of it. Thankfully, that was a decision made. It comes right back into 250. Of course, the short will eventually have worked, but if you're going to go against the grain, you got to have an out somewhere, and if it breaks that top, I'm getting out. You guys know that style of trade, especially when I like that $3 level, giving me some potential cover there. I can tell you Tesla continues to press. It never got back into that 6 even, so it looks like it's making a bit of a bump back up here. It has yet to get through 607 in VWAP. That was also this level, which got terminated off the open. Would have been a pre-market support at 607. Get above that price and can hold. I think there could be a bit of a long in Tesla, but just sort of noting where the strength isn't in Tesla yet, I should say, because the market's slightly up and trying to go. Coinbase, I mean, you can pretty much forget about, these dips. Yes, so some of these are there, and yes, we've missed it a couple of times by like 50 cents or so, but Coinbase continues to press through to the top. 240 is looming. We're getting close to that range. We're holding at 235 here. One of the stronger names that I've seen, buying the dip has been, you've had shots in Square. Coinbase has been much more difficult to get involved in whatsoever. And AMPC, we're going to be all out of that one very, very quickly. I did want to get back to Virgin Galactic, if only because, the volume is still fantastic here. Now, this is, just so you guys know, if it breaks 24, 25, I already said I'm going to go short on a breakdown trade, but it's starting to creep back up here. I shorted off this level and didn't have enough patience. I think the second time we get towards that pre-market high, I want to show a little bit more patience. It's not there yet. We're at 25.88, 25.90 or so, and trying to roll over. I'd like to see it test a little bit closer. Where I got stopped out at 25s. Up here, I want to give it a little bit more room. If I can get above 26 as a short price, then I can give it to that high. Not necessarily, this little wick's not true. So you're looking at like 26.50 as a bit of a top here, guys. So 26.50 is the high that I see. If that is incorrect, well, then I'm shorting off the wrong level. That's what I see here.
Okay, so I see a good question here, Nello, and I think that's a good, a very, very smart and astute thing for you to be talking about right now. Should I trade my CGC for NVIDIA for my long-term account? You've already made 250% so far on CGC. Answer, yes. I mean, I would rather get into AMD, but if you like NVIDIA, that's a very, very smart thing to do. I don't know how you made 250% on CGC, unless you're a hell of a long time ago. There's been really no movement on CGC, but if you're talking about options or something like that, congratulations. It's been a nice bump up. We talked about this yesterday with Arun, breaking through that 24 level, and that we like CGC there. So I think you could hold on. I mean, I wouldn't trade at all. I think CGC has huge upside. We talk about that all the time with federalization. So I would wait for CGC, but I would definitely get out of half. So good call there for Mr. Nelo Nello there. I would take some of this. You know what? Play with house money. Take out 150%, so you keep your 100% in the game. Put that into something else. If you just want a stock that I think is going to be a good one for a long period of time, I mean, buy some softy and you will not regret it. What's up, Beep?
Just a heads up on these LiDAR stocks again, starting to move a little bit. Velodyne, the first one, VLDR, just popped up on a huge volume spike there through to day highs. Not seeing the rest of them follow through at this point, but don't see headlines either. But just watch out. These can get going, as we've seen lately, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, those have usually been good for reversals, but I mean, it's been laser that I tend to matriculate towards. But Velodyne certainly is going to be the one moving here, and you got to trade what's going. Come on, VLDR. There we go. And look, it's about like a 50-cent move, and then the harsh reversal. And it's done this now twice. So, I mean, it seems like a bit of like a failed breakout, trying to make a bit of a runner happen here. And if it's the only name, I'd stick to every time it pops. Just give yourself a bit of a tight stop in, just because it's rinse and repeating that action now twice. I look at 1120 on the daily as an obvious level, and if you come to the 15-minute chart, you're going to sort of see the same thing. That's where it's trying to get to from last week, and each time just reversing. It's actually two little moves here off of 1060 that have failed. I think if it actually breaks through, you're looking at a 1085-11 area where you'll probably try the next time. So Velodyne's going to be on my radar. I just have Square and ANPC. Still have Square. I mean, that's actually a reload trade, guys. So it's the second time we're going to have that one. But this ANPC just made a bit of a spike off of the bottom, and I talked about you have to have a target somewhere. This is my last bid, sort of sitting in front of 481. It's now turning around to the upside here. If it breaks through, call it like 510 or so. I'll just walk away from that last trade. We've been short all morning long with a couple of reloads, and this was our 930 idea that we wanted something to have that fail push to the upside. It's short. You're selling off on the gap up play, and then at 930 tries to get bought up and then fails to get to the next level. In that case, it was 575, and you take the rollover trade. At some point, all of those are going to be done. So as much as it's been a power up all morning, the move to the downside on AMPC could be coming to an end. And speaking of coming to an end, yeah, that's right. We're not into that Virgin Galactic. I just said I was going to be patient with it and wait for it to get a little bit higher. Started to offer into that 25 to 30 range. And of course, that means Virgin Galactic wants to go back to the downside. So I'm not going to force it just because I happen to be down on Virgin Galactic this morning, shorting it when it should have been a winner. But you got to wait for your spots. You don't revenge trade it. One thing I know about this stock, certainly there's more opportunities to come. And if it happens to be at power hour, then fine. I can wait all through lunchtime for the best spot. I can wait all the way to like 2:30, 3 o'clock, maybe 3:15 when we come back for that close. I'm not forcing anything in Virgin Galactic. I'm not chasing missed profits, anything like that. You do not want to take what is a successful day and then ruin it by over trading. As much as I'd like to be in this because the volume is fantastic, and I think the volatility will come back to it, it might not be till a little bit later.
All right, Ford right now, nice little pickup down there at the bottom. We picked up some 02s there. We'll see where it wants to go from here, but we're still long at 05 on this dip down. So we did just two averages here. Average. We're going to give it back to break 13. If it breaks 13, then we're going to be gone. We do note, though, that, again, I'll have to zoom back down here. It was this day. Remember, we were caught long this day, and then we actually held it and were able to make some profit. So this day, it went to 1290. So we are paying attention to that level in case we have to average in a lot to this trade. But we're not. Remember, we're going to get out if it does break through 13. So right now, and we're not revenge trading anything today because we're up on everything. But that is a problem. And Neil does a good point there. You don't need to force trades if there's not there. So let's be very, very careful. Just like what we're doing here with Ride. And let's go, man. We talked about this one. I said what we're doing with this. And that is if it breaks through 840, we're going long. So here we go, man. Let's just make money on the long and the short today. How does that sound, guys? Like when you're doing this all day long, this is what happens. Like this is what happens when you trade properly and you take these breakouts, guys. Look at Ride. Bye-bye. See you. So nice little profit there to the upside. We make money on the short. We make money on the long. And here it goes, man. Beautiful trade on Ride. Let's see how high this goes up now. Go, Ride, go. We're almost out of our long. We still got a decent spot, but let's not, again, it wasn't a good report, but hey, when you read the charts, you take that trade. So that's an easy one there. 40 cents upside. Look at Palantir. This is a 50-cent winner. This is why we're just chilling out, man. I told you we should have got longer down here. We talked about that. I didn't want anything Palantir up here. Let's see what it does near $22, man. But yeah, the fun just continues here for me today as we're going to keep that record going, man. And like I said, Ryu or Ken, we like some Street Fighter. I'm wondering about Zangief for my girl Valeria there. Maybe we try some Zangief if we're facing anybody, but we're still waiting for our get together. And when that happens, that should be a lot of fun. There goes Ryan.
Why would anyone use Zangief?
850. No, I'm just going to use it because of Russia there. All the way up through 857. So let's go, Ride. Maybe we'll take another piece off. But hey, man, this day has just begun for us. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the day's definitely just begun. Zangief, I mean, whatever. That's one of the least favorite characters there. Ride, remember 875. We're looking at the aftermarket low here to see if it can't bounce into that and find some resistance. So I'm waiting for that price. If it gets 20 cents higher, I'll look for a bit of a turn. It still actually could be a failed breakout here. I mean, if it snapped back below 850, that hasn't happened, so I'm not in. Then I would maybe get back into it in like the 35 to 45 range. But until then, you wait for that 875 if you're looking for the shorts. Then we go to Brendan. What do you got, bud?
Just getting a couple of day high alerts here. This one, first off, GME, guys, just tagged 194 up there on another nice volume spike. You can see new day highs pulling in a little bit. The other one was Tilray, more volume, another day high for Tilray, also pushing continuously to the upside. So a couple of unexpected movers so far today. It's 10:30. Let's get a quick check on how things are shaping up over in Europe. 1 hour to go over there, Miss V. What's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mixed. Deutsche Wochnen is up more than 16% after its rival, Vonovia, agreed to take over it for $22 billion. Back to you.
Yeah, a bit of a choppy ride so far, both in Europe and here as well, guys. We're trying to hang on to positive territory so far.
Well, that might have been the kiss of death there, Brendan, because as I look at the NASDAQ, it's basically 0.04% and testing this 13,630 level, which could be a bit of a breakdown. So obviously, I'm going to be sitting in square to that long side trade, and we had that break. Now, to me, breakout trades are a completely different beast from buying dips and sitting there finding a level to defend. Obviously, I'm not going to give them as much room. When I hit a profit target and we turn around at 218, I cannot let this break back too far below break even here, guys. So if it goes about 50 cents out of the money, I will be out of this score and then look for a better place to re-enter this trade. For now, it's still okay, and I'm going to have to look back at Tesla. If this market rolls over, I got to look back to Tesla at that 600 even level because that's going to be a decent one. And then, of course, we've been waiting for Coinbase to pop back to the downside. So that's another name that we want to be seeing on any kind of a dip, and we're sitting patiently waiting for some of these to start to come back to us. Come on, Coinbase. There we go. And we're bouncing off VWAP here in Coinbase at 232. I still maintain that I'd rather be buying the 228s to 229, so not going to jump into this trade just yet. But we did just hold that low on the NASDAQ, so there's really no panic selling. Thankfully, we're giving a little bit of room to that square. I don't know why Tesla didn't just, yeah, there we go. Tesla actually bouncing down towards 601. Remember what I wanted to see? Test the low, bounce first, and then get into a long position and be willing to give a little bit up in terms of your entry point, whether it's 50 cents or an extra $1. Could you have 601s if you actually just take it in front of the bid? Yeah, you'd be long at like 601 and change. I just got long at 601.85 because we said we wanted to bounce first and then buy it on the way to the upside just to make sure there was a little bit of support here. So 600 did not break. The market is trying to hold level. You have a key level in the overall market. You have a key level on Tesla. I can definitely scalp this out in front of 605 if we get a bit of a turn here, but Obviously, if 600 goes, I'm out of this trade altogether.
Okay, so we did get some more AMD here on this dip. So this is like this is basically a new position because we got out here. We were just holding half of this small trade. We talked about getting long down here. So let's see if it takes out 80s. I mean, the market's coming off right now. We're about to go negative, right? So we got to clear out of a lot of these longs, man. Ford dipping down. We're going to give this one shot here to see if it wants to get back through O's. If not, then obviously we're going to get out of this one, breaking through 95. We got to get something off there. Our ride just continues to make the moves, again, to the upside. So nice little look at this, guys. Like short, bang, no problem. Long, bang, equally no problem. So we're watching out for ride now to see where that one wants to go. And then square kind of struggling at that top there. We held this one all the way to 218. Now it's all the way back down. So watch out for the NASDAQ here, guys, as we're about to turn. So hopefully we can turn back to the upside and then we can watch square get back to 218. Obviously we should have got out, man. We were at $6 in the money there on SQ. But what are you going to do? We're watching Ford. We're watching AMD. Square ride. We just talked about that. And then Palantir's right upside right now. So this is another 45-cent win. So it's going to be a great day for us as we continue to watch Palantir go upside. Ford, we're waiting for that one. Waiting for space to drop down. And crypto's not really doing much. But ETH right now trying to go a little bit here. Nice little move. I guess I shouldn't say not doing anything. From 2,400 to 2,600 nicely. It's just a slow grind to the upside here for ETH. So I did sell some yesterday and maybe a mistake. We'll see where it goes from here, but want to get into some cash in case that bottom happens one more time. So some nice profits being taken on ETH. I didn't sell any ADA yet, so we're going to wait for that one. Here comes Ford back to the upside. I'm buying more Matic. What's my price? 05. So we'll see if we can get out some here. Low threes if we break through 13. There it is. So a nice little dip buy there if you got any. I was waiting at 96, maybe a little bit too greedy there.
It's interesting. I was actually just saying that some of these small cap stocks, it doesn't matter what the market is doing here, but yeah, I mean the market turned over and tested that low of the day. Got into Tesla, got out of Square, so we're out of that trade for now. I mean, still my number 2 stock on the session, but ANPC makes a push down. So when the market turned, this just tested the low of the day, and that's going to be, you know what? Why am I not all of it? That's kind of crazy. Why even wait for an extra 4 cents? I mean, that's ridiculous, right? So 468 was the previous close. So it'd be all flat if that happened. The bids are starting to stack up on this stock. You'll see 70, 73. So everyone's kind of looking at the previous close and throwing some buys in there. So I'm all done. 473 is going to be my last out. The only positions we're looking at are to maybe look for some dip buying opportunities and names that we're going to like. And one of those, obviously, I already got into Tesla, guys. And I don't think there's probably 0% chance of not getting a dip buy in Coinbase at the price that I like without Tesla breaking the low. So I probably won't have these simultaneously. 600 likely to go before we get any shot to catch Coinbase, which, I mean, considering the market's rolling over here, I love the fact that we're holding up. Maybe it does make that 235 push. The relative strength is obvious in Coinbase. I know it's only 3 or 4%, but it's one that I like today. It's one I like if it breaks that 240. It's one I certainly am going to like if it gets back to that 228. But if we break VWAP, you likely want to be patient with this. I don't think it just breaks VWAP and goes 50 cents or $1. I think we're testing back down toward that 228, if not even that 227 level where you had a couple of dips in the pre-market here before that run.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about coin, and I'm not super interested in that one until 240. So look at AMD, though. You want to talk about something that we're super interested in, man. The bulls are running today again. I love this name. I talked about it with you guys. We love AMD. I think it's just a good buy. It's a good day trade for me. And there it is again, man. 76, 77, 60. Nice bid. We took some double outs there at 80. So now we're 50 cents in the money on Palantir. We're back to $4 now in the money on Square. We're in the money 23 cents on AMD. Like, if this is the way trading is going to be going, guys, we got to up our shares. It's already been a fantastic month, 15-1. So good on us so far. I hope you guys are having the same success. Tilray, Brendan, now up 8%. Wow. Take it over, bud.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500. We are, look at that, dead flat, 0,000 currently on the S&P. I want to start on that side of the board because weakness coming from The energy group way over here in the corner today. Oil actually higher slightly on the day, ever so slightly, 0.3% when last I checked, but right at significant levels on the daily chart. So some energy stocks getting sold. Utility stocks also under pressure so far, adding to the downside. This financial group we saw participating last week really hasn't done much the first 2 days of this week. All of the strength that we're seeing offsetting this weakness coming once again from some of the reopen type plays. You can see starting here, here's the airlines, UAL, AAL, and Dow, 3 to 5% to the upside for the airlines today. So a nice look. There's Boeing as well, 2% to the upside for Boeing. Everything else in the industrial group over here, basically flat on the session, but airlines doing the heavy lifting here. Consumer discretionary stocks, going to find the retailers in here. You're going to find some of the cruise lines, NCLH, RCL, CCL. We mentioned those in the pre-market on the watch list this morning as well. So nice day again for these. Etsy, L Brands, GPS, Ulta Beauty, 1.2% through to 2.6%. Back to the upside, same story with the durable goods. Industrial stocks, we mentioned the airlines, they're all there also helping. Here's the tech group. STX 2.4, HPE and Juniper all downside. Everything else not bad. ENPH there downside as well. Everything else again not bad. Some of the software names kind of flat to break even, but overall adding a little bit of help here. We are negative, but I mean you couldn't be more flat so far today. Negative 0.01% for the S&P, guys. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. And as the market tried to hold, I mean, we actually did hold up in the NASDAQ side of it anyways. And ES negative to positive. And then, of course, that's going to be Tesla that's going to come out. And I still haven't gotten that Coinbase, so it's not quite that weak. I don't think we're getting that deep of a pullback. But it broke that 600, slammed back. This could be one of those situations where it's not really a wipeout bottom, but that little flush out that you take in there. You get stopped out at the low of the day, which I'm going to do almost every single time on a move like that. If I'm playing off a 600 level, then I'm going to allow it to break there and then just get my out and look for a better price. Virgin Galactic, I'm still sort of, this is not really a bracket order because I'm sitting in front on the short side of both of these trades, but this is starting to get sleepy at a lower high. I'm getting back into Lordstown. It did not, when it tested, not quite getting to that 875 area, but on that little rollover, comes right back down, breaks through, it gets like the 845, and now off of this higher low, so yeah, I mean, a lower high here, this 862 level looks like the high of the day. If it gets to 75, fair enough. There's a couple of actionable levels we can half off that. For now, it's going to be 862, which is current high of day on Lordstown. Clearly, I like 875. I talked about it a couple of times. I'd like even 9 if it were to even sniff that price level. I'm not sure it's going to, but you never know. Beggars can't be choosers there. And one from, I didn't trade this one yesterday, obviously because I wasn't here. But this SCPS, which I know was a mover for you guys, and I don't think I mentioned at any point so far, at least yet this morning, if it does break 9 even, just given the pullback that it had, I feel like if it breaks that 9, it's probably coming all the way back into like a 6 or 7. So I don't think this is happening anytime soon, but as it tests this low over and over again, I know it's one I put down on my list and we didn't talk about. Certainly I missed out on this entire move, halts to the upside multiple times. If this breaks 9, I think it has a good chance to get back to all the way to where it started. So 9 even break on SCPS. Been sitting around waiting for it. Let's see if it can come in during lunchtime. Brendo?
Nothing new, as far as I can see anyways, on this Moxian today. Moxie, you remember, this thing's been on quite the tear the past couple of weeks to the upside. We're right back to significant levels here. This 15 to 15.5, a bit of an area. Just tried to test 15.5 up there, got slammed back down through 15. So big seller there at 15.5 for Moxie, guys.
Moxie, okay. Well, why if that Mach 5 is what Square's trying to do right now, trying to make it back to these highs. Well, maybe we'll put an order at 217.50 here. Again, just such a big day it's been for us on Square. We're still long 215.50, trying to let this go. If you look at a little bit of a longer term time frame here, let's just go to 10 minutes to give a little bit of a view here. It's just the momentum right now. This is straight to the upside. Maybe I can zoom back out a little bit. So this is what we're trying to find out. There's some consolidation here that happened, I guess. I have no idea what day this is, May 11th, I guess. May 11th down here, 218. And then we got into this little grouped up action here as well, 220. So I don't know how high this thing's going to go today, but that high of 218.30 now makes sense as we look back to a few further days, about a week and a half there, to see that maybe I need to get out of this $5 winner range right now. If we do get to 218, that'll be like $6. So that's a good trade for us. But again, like, why can't we just take this out right here? If we take out 221, then we could go to 225 today. So again, you know, I'm hella long Square and we're hella loving it. So good trade there for Square today. It was our number one on, of course, our watch list here on the sticky notes. You guys can see that. Hopefully there's enough likes on that. We can get 100. We can show it tomorrow for you as well. And then here's Ride, man. We've just been crushing that name today both ways, upside and downside. So we take it early on that bad report, obviously, crush it. We get a decent low. Our best out is 8 there. And then we take the long on what was a good call there through 840. Got our highs out right now. Maybe we'll get out again right now. I mean, why not? Another 12 cents. Might as well put that in our pipe and smoke that thing. So nice little win here for Ride. Basically, the bumble of the day, really, this came back and triggered me out of my last 20%. So 10, 20, 40, 60. Wait a second. Yeah, that does make sense. 20, 40, 60, 80. You can't start at 10 when you're counting by 20. So 20, 40, 60, 80. Our best out only 33s. Then it comes back down and again, sloppy. We didn't cancel our outs. And then we try to hold some for the moon. And then it rips to 15. So AMC, good trade today, but obviously taking 30 cents, what can you do? But when you're going to go perfect today, you kind of say, and you give up some money, but we'll try to be better for you tomorrow, guys.
I mean, every day is going to be a new day, certainly, but every trade, you have to sort of throw out what happened before and then sort of analyze the situation as it is. So obviously, PIRS was a good short when I got out of it. It's going to test that same level one more time here again. So let's go back, and I showed you guys the next level up. Look, if it gets to like 280, $3, those are two different price levels here. You got to work off the current high of the day when it's up like 39%. It has a history of falling back in. So much like I'm going to reload, and I talked about this on Ride in front of this current high, it's going to be the same thing I want to do with PIRS. If it does make a push through the top, I think you have to give it a couple of extra pennies here, which I didn't do last time, but I want to rectify that mistake by getting a short off of like a 270 level instead of like a 265. Clearly, if I just give it a couple extra pennies, I then make the move back into VWAP, even testing lower than that. If this gets below not 240, but if this gets below like a 233 where you had that opening range higher low that got put in, I think it's going to be one of those all systems go, short it all the way back down to 2 even. Till then, you're only working off the high of the day, guys.
I mean, mac and cheesy, lemon squeezy. There's Ride. Look at that one, man. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let's just keep on going to the upside now with RIDE. Lordstown just Rip City up to the upside there. This is the trade that we wanted, so let's hold this and see how far this one wants to go, man. Man, are we just loving life right now. Look at Palantir. Okay, Palantir, I see you. Chest bump. Let's just keep on going with Palantir. We just posted this out right now on our profile. I don't have anything. Okay, first of all, poll time. People still thinking that we get a little bit higher. But this is what I'm talking about with Palantir, man. Just one little thing, man. Let's just keep going. It's beating hard and fast right now as Palantir just keeps on going up. What's up? We'll just keep going that one to the long side. Let's see how far Palantir goes, man. 2206, 2207. My last buy, again, we stamp our buys when we tell you them, man. 1850, our last buy on that dip for Palantir. Now we Rip City upside now. This is what we're talking about. We've loved this name long time, and we talked to you guys all through the dips of Palantir and now through the rips. So I hope you're with us and you're liking what we're doing right now on the show for sure. Ride struggling right there in the money, 40 cents. Square upside, taking out day's high. Looks like it wants to do that, man. We're still $6 in the money on this one. Palantir's rocking and rolling, and we just picked up a baby Ford. So let's just get out a little bit more on Ford here if we can. We'll get some out 99s here, put an offer out. We just picked up some 96s. Our average price is not good, man, 02. So we'll wait to see. I got to get out in one more piece. Don't need this thing to dip down. When it's acting like this and it's like, I'm not sure what it's doing, no point in getting involved. There is a point in getting involved in this name, of course, and we'll just do this again, man. To the moon right now goes AMD. So let's get it off again on AMD, guys. Look at this dip buy, 77.60 out 78.30. Like, Hello. Great moves here. We're up huge. We're not going to talk about our daily goals. We talked about that. But believe me, they gone as we hit some swishes now. Congratulations to the Maple Leafs. A nice victory yesterday. And we'll see what happens with the Raptors next year. But here goes Ford. Let's go now. Let's see if we can get back into the teens. And then, man, oh, man, would this day be popping.
Yeah, speaking of popping, LEDS just popped up like 20% or so. Just got to get some locates here. 2.4 cents per share. Thank you once again, Day Trade the World. Every now and then, you got to pay for the right to get those locates. And when something is moving like this, I know it's going to be actionable. And we've traded LEDs before, LEDS before. And then just going to show you quickly, 15-minute chart here. It's blown through a couple of levels, one being this 950, testing towards it was a hard fail at $11. So I would think that LEDS, barring something crazy that I'm unaware of, is likely to fail shy of that level. As everyone's looking at the same charts, the bottom end of this move here was about like a 1030. So as it gets into that price, you start thinking about where the reversal is going to be. But LEDs making a strong parabolic move on volume just a couple of minutes ago here, and looks like it's getting towards that top that I saw. 1030 first look, and then 11 even. With just about 8 minutes to go in the show, guys, of course, the market does not stop, and that means there's money to talk about, and Brent's going to give it to you at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a quick look at how things are shaping up so far. I put Ethereum up on the chart over here today because we are holding up a little bit better than the rest. If you have a look at some, this is a 30-minute chart, so go down to a smaller time frame outside of the daily and weekly charts kind of things. Obvious level here, 25.50. It's tested a couple of times, still holding nicely above that. So nice looking chart there for ETH. We are red on the day, you can see, but still above 2,600. Bitcoin still above 37,000, so key level there developing for BTC. 37,000, Ripple down here in positive territory, but only just. Pretty muted otherwise as far as actual currencies are concerned. New Zealand and Australia were both higher significantly early on some positive news out of Australia, but they both kind of come back. New Zealand still hanging on to positive day here. Turkish lira up 0.8%. Everything else pretty much flat on the day so far, guys. Back to you.
So halt in LEDS, that just happened a couple of seconds ago, guys. So volatility halt 1053. It's still shy of that $11 area. Probably going to open back up right as just before we end the show here. I don't know why Occugen comes up when I just flip my chart, so we'll go manually here. You're going to see it all grayed out. 5-minute halt likely. I don't see any actionable new news on LEDS, but $11 going to be a key one. But there is still that open trade that I like, reopen trade that I'm always going to like. We identified that sort of 1030 pullback area last time. That gives you a couple of ways to play this. If it opens straight below this 1053, I'd look for an entry off that 1030 area. Get out at about that 53. Maybe round it up to like 60 just to give it a little bit of extra room. If we open above that, you're looking for a failure at 11. At least I'm looking at a failure at about 11 even, and then you can short off of that level. If I have to chase that below the halt price, I don't mind doing so. But if I short below the halt price, then the halt area is my out and not that 11 even. So with only 5 minutes to go, the market's still going, but you want to find something that's actionable, and LEDS front of the list after that recent halt.
Okay, so into trades here, 21.90. That breaks. We're going to be gone from Palantir, but this keeps going, guys. This just keeps going. Let's go Palantir. We're going to get out though. We're going to definitely take this 50 cents on. We'll let it ride, but if it breaks lower, we got to be a little smart there, breaking this peak to the downside. I'm not just going to pound our chests here. We already have 7 for 7 today. 85 cents in the money right now as well on AMD. We just crushed that name. The only missed opportunity today, AMC, which I've already made money on. That's great. The missed opportunity today was Neo, and we can talk about that after. Square, just again, guys, we're going to get out on this move down. Maybe we can zoom back in a little bit here. 216.50 right here. If we break back down below Square, we're going to get out and we'll put $4 in our pocket. We're at day's high right now, so let's let it ride just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing. Speak about ride. I mean, already, man, smile this one. Firework this stock, one of my top stocks today. Well, not really. I mean, spread it out, man. Square's my number one. AMD is right there as well. Some Ether, Ride, Palantir. I mean, they're all there, so whatever. Ride, no more. I'm literally in like 15% of what I had, so we'll just let Ride go. If it takes off, great. If not, we'll get out probably around VWAP 830. No skin off our back there. It's a big profitable name for us today. And look, man, with only 4 minutes to go, I'm excited to see what earnings come through. Oh, and I'm also excited that hopefully, guys, CGC continues to go. Me and Arun talked about this yesterday when CGC was in the news. I think it got upgraded by some Canaccord maybe yesterday, $24. We were loving that break. I got to phone my pops, man. He's in CGC as well. He's loving some of the action. We've been buying some of these dips. So $24.50 today, a nice move up 7-8%. Plus Tilray, the other cannabis name that I own, and we talked about that and Grow Generation brands nicely today. Tilray up 8%, and then GRWG, wait a second, Brendan, we're coming over to you in a minute. What is this name doing? This doesn't have generally the moves that the rest do, but is that true? GRWG also up 8% today. Okay, we're doing better than we thought around these places. There it goes, man. New day's high, Brendan, for Square right now. Good hold for us from pre-market bottoms, basically, 212.50. And again, that's right on here, guys. Right on the sticky note. If you want to keep this, I'm going to put the link up. If you can, please like this, let us know. And there goes Ford as well. We're long at O's.
I like that a lot for Square today. Let's. I was just looking at that LEDS. Still, I don't see much on it. It's worth mentioning, guys. Sorry, Lucas, if we could show this real quick before we get to earnings. Here's the free float. So 2.42 million, if you can see that. So tread lightly, to say the least, if you're going to venture into LEDS. Yeah, a few earnings to get to, guys, in the retail space coming up after market or before the open tomorrow.
I mean, you're going to see a Nordstrom, Urban Outfitters going to watch. I mean, Dick's and Abercrombie. Pinduoduo, we like to say that name a lot of times here. I'm actually watching Nordstrom's here because you had a couple of failed breaks and through 40 even, and a couple of times it's tried to do this, and it has a nice little 34 bottom. So in the event that a positive report gets sold off, you have a decent level down here of support. You see 33.5 to 34 even. That LEDS opened up to the high side, so for me, there's no actionable short on it. Still trading big time volume, but you have to have a good entry. If you want to go against the grain on something like a LEDS, you're going to be very, very careful here. And I'm still seeing it show tremendous strength up in and around this $11 even area on LEDS. So until it makes a hard move down or gets below one of these hull prices, you're going to see me stay away from it.
Oh man, what a great day. Yeah, thank you for everybody. And guys, by the way, like this means a hell of a lot to me. This is today's. I mean, you could just check out some of these things here. They're all cash money, but look at this. Already, guys, 199 likes. Thank you so much, guys. We'll just keep on doing it. We'll punch ourselves out there. 100, 200 likes now. Thank you so much for this. It means a lot, and we'll just keep on pumping it forward for you. And if anything, man, that's what it's all about, is the community, building it up. Let's see if we can't just continue the rest. I mean, we're huge now again today, man. Like, and again, just part of doing this homework, you know, for you guys. And I mean, here's all the sticky notes. Anyone want to get a hold of me for NFTs? Look at all of these sticky notes here. We keep them, we review them, and then we put some new ones up for you every single day. So if you're not, you know, watching stock, or maybe you don't get our watch list, or you're just looking for some ideas, guys, there they are. Like, hit it up. Thank you so much for the continued support on that sticky note, man. It means a lot. I put a lot of effort into that, so thank you so much for that sticky note. With only a minute to go, I'm excited, Ms. V, to find out what day it is. I'm seeing something on there, and my wife will be happy. AMD right now, guys, to the moon. $1 in the money on AMD. Give it, V.
Hey team, it's a wonderful trading day so far. Guys brought you up a lot of winning trades and helpful information. All what we ask for is just to please make sure to like this video right now. Your support is very important to us. Come back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Wine Day.
Did somebody say wine? That's a great sketch, by the way. Shout out to Lady Gaga and SNL. But anyways, the LEDS, I'm sitting there staring at it because it's testing that 1050, that whole price right here, right now. It needs to break lower for me to like it. Yeah, no whining over here. Certainly drinking some over the weekend. And that is a fantastic national day. Do not forget to come back because I think the close is going to be an interesting one here today, guys. But I already know the answer to this one, I think, Sean, but your favorite type of wine. I think I know.
You know what? Recently, just because of summertime, I'm actually loving some Chardonnay, like Chablis and things like that. So I like that. But for a red, yep, it's got to be Barolo. So, I mean, I love that wine. How about yourself, my friend?
Look, if it's to me, like I'm with you. I'm usually about the reds, but I've been recently. Give me like we have a couple of nice Rieslings that we've been dropping down. So it's that time of year. You got to look for the white.
Brendo?
I was actually going to say that too. A nice patio in the summer, Chardonnay, can't go wrong. But if I had to say a red, California Cab Sav would be my choice, guys.
Wow, specific there. Yeah, I like Oregon as well. Some nice Pinot Noirs. But a good show. Thank you so much. Miss V, a favorite wine and/or summertime drink?
Vodka, just kidding. So Sauvignon Blanc for white and Cabernet Sauvignon for red.
Perfect.
I like sweet wine.
Also, to correct, wine day is every day. It's not a single.
Right.
And it's also wine o'clock right now,
Right.
so just letting everybody know that.
It's wine o'clock. Nobody told me, guys. We do have to run out of here. It's literally getting into LEDS. At the end of the show, it's been a fantastic one. Comeback for Power Hour for the entire team for Miss V. For Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts and Sean Katina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you at the close. Bye, guys.